Greetings, everybody. Greetings on this cold winter summer's day in the UK. As you can see, I'm drinking a coffee. And those of you who know me know she don't like coffee. She don't drink coffee because it ain't coffee. Guess what I'm drinking? Shell. I think I might have told you. And I know what you normally think, but it's no. It ain't no ginger wine today.
It would be wine.
Barbados. Barbados. What is it, Shell? What do you reckon?
I've forgotten what wines it you're drinking. Is it a guava one?
Oh, okay. So those people aren't listening. We're going to share it out. We've told them at the beginning of the show. We're going to give them a little while to warm up, Shell. We're going to give them the opportunity to be sharing because that is what they're supposed to be doing. We are going to be going live. Yes, the word is live, and we do mean live. We are going live to Barbados any moment now. So please don't forget to comment in the chat, whether you are on YouTube or whether you are on Facebook. And greetings, everyone. Greetings. We are live with Real Talk with Simply Deez, Tuesday, the 4th of June, 2024. And as a T-shirt say,
oh,
Wagwan. And it reads the right way as well, doesn't it? It does. So with that, everybody, Wagwan. Don't say I didn't ask. Beginning of the show. Shell. Not been on for a little while.
No.
Last month I was away. As you know, on a retreat in Barbados, courtesy of Sandra Moore, rejuvenated soul, who took, I think there was about 10 of us from the UK that travelled over, and we stayed at a place called Shades of Barbados, and we're going to be going live to the co-owner and also host very, very shortly. But in the meantime, what's been happening, Shell?
What, while you've been off gallivanting?
It wasn't exactly gallivanting, darling. It was a retreat. It was a flight-based retreat. So needed. Timing was a perfecto. But we're going to chat more about that. So, yeah, while I was gallivanting, yeah, let's keep it real, because I was gallivanting with the other director, Cecile, another partner in crime. Hopefully she doesn't come on because we shared rooms. She might have something to say.
I haven't had all the stories yet.
You'll get that tomorrow. We'll give you that tomorrow. So, I don't know. Do you know what, Shell? I don't even know if I should be doing the show. This is 6 years. 1st of May 2018 was the very first Real Talk with Simply Deez show, and that was on Pantango. So we're celebrating a month late, but it is 6 years. That's some going, right?
It is. How I'm not sure. We've had lockdown in the middle.
You know, most people fold or may have folded or stuff like that during lockdown. That's when we got kind of like it all started happening. Book, the hub in the market, everything happened. We took off during lockdown. So that is something that we're going to cover next month, because it's actually going to be 4 years since life in a lockdown. So what I'm going to do, Shell, if you want to tell the guys just, what you've been up to. And I'm just checking to see where she at, because I know she's got to pick up her daughter very shortly.
And we've got, they're there at the moment. They're in the back.
Who?
Yeah. You obviously logged in as you and not logged in as a producer. So yes, they're behind the scenes. They're there. Don't panic.
All right, bring them on. Jeez, what we got them waiting for? Woo! Let's bring them on.
I was trying to say to you at the right at the start. Here we go.
Hey.
We was backstage. You was backstage.
Do you remember that? Hi. By the way, Errol, that's not for you. That's for.
I've got it anyway. Don't matter.
Oh my gosh! Do you know what? I'm feeling a bit emotional actually.
Bless
It's 2 weeks ago we landed back.
I know, that's crazy. Time has flown so quick.
Yeah.
It seems a lifetime ago. So this is a show, guys. This is a show. As you know, we are live, so no cussing allowed, Errol.
I'll try my best. How long have I got?
More likely Michelle that's going to, but so, so hi.
Hi.
So that's
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having us.
that's Jem that's just logged in. Hi, Jem.
Jim.
Yes. So everyone's thinking like, who the hell are those two? She said she was going live to Barbados. Well, if you look behind them two, this isn't just they think it's one of them shower curtains. This is, look at that backdrop. Some of us, we were Dedea, as they say. Dedea. Shades of Barbados. Now, I can chat, but I'm not going to because I know Michelle's got to go soon to pick up the little ones. So I'm going to sort of like say a big, massive welcome to Errol and to Michelle. Errol, co-owner. Am I right in saying that, Errol?
Yes, you are. Thank you. Yeah.
Of Barbados, and Michelle, an amazing, amazing host. And honestly, you guys made the trip.
Wow. The feeling is reciprocal, honestly. I get emotional quickly, you know, be careful.
So am I. I feel quite nauseous, to be honest, Errol. I feel quite nauseous. I didn't think you were saying all of those nice things about you, but it's true.
I know you mean it.
It's true. So I need you guys, because I don't want Rochelle to dive off. So Errol, you are out in Barbados and the co-owner of this amazing, amazing venue, the location, everything is sweet. So there's Cecile as well. Hi, Cecile. So these guys are commenting and they're like, wish they were back in Barbados.
I know. We're missing that energy. We're missing the energy, man.
So quiet without you guys.
Yeah. The bit of
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? They
come on back.
Just letting the masses know. So Errol, how long have you been out there? Tell us about Shades. And then sort of like bringing Michelle, the part you're playing over there.
Okay, let me try to sum it up pretty quickly because it's a long story. But I think the catalyst was when we lost Mum in 2000 January. And you know, you're always talking about one day you'll do something in the Caribbean, one day you'll do it. And then all of a sudden time, you know, you get to understand what time is because Mum was only 62 years old. Do you know what I mean? And we decided at that point, me and my brothers, to put our resources together and live our dream, a dream that we were talking about forever, but never actually did it until that happened. So my brothers and I, we put our resources together and developed Shades. It's really funny. I say this story all the time. We didn't even know who owned the land behind us, actually, because it's attached to my dad's space. We didn't know who actually owned the land behind, and we made a cold call. And the lady that answered said she's looking to sell it at the same time we were looking to buy it. So it's all done. It's all meant to be because we didn't have a clue who owned the land. It was just a cold call, and we found out who owned it. And so it all developed in 2001. 2001. 2001 was when we first, So Mum lost Mum in 2000. After the year 2001, we started getting the architects to draw it and stuff. And initially, we had an English architect, a good friend of ours, helped us out, gave us a drawing, actually built a model of how it was going to look. We came to Barbados, this big model on the plane. Everyone thought we had pets in it, right? It's a big box.
Yeah.
And we came down and we presented it to the local architect, and they just laughed us out and said, this is the Caribbean. Take the European ideas out your head. We were building a greenhouse. It's all glass. We thought we were in Spain. Anyway, and then he drove us around and talked about the landscape, where the sun rises, where it sets, where the wind blows, when the rain comes in. There were so many things to consider. Yeah. And if you know me, I'm not even a gardener really. So I didn't appreciate land like I do now. Now I realize it's outdoor living as opposed to indoor living, where in the UK, our big TV is our focal point. The bigger TV you got, But over here, it's outside, it's landscape, and it's the trees, it's the plants, it's the colours, and what the colours do for you. It's just the energy. These are alive, and I've learned this on my journey. You know what I mean? On my journey, and we've all appreciated it. So as it's gone on, Shades has been a labour of love. We've done it in phases. Again, when you've got loving brothers like us, unconditional love, you're just working together. You want to just keep going. And it was a dream for us. We were living our dream, honestly. We were living our dream. And then we've grown up and we've developed it. It's been successful. We've met some wonderful people on the way. Come COVID, that was our first real challenge in terms of, you know, you're flying and you just shot at the sky and you're in free fall and no one's telling you where you're going to land, when you're going to land, how you're going to land, who's going to survive, who else is going to survive. You know what I mean? And it hit the ground, and it was the roughest time for us because all our eggs are in one basket and we're relying on the help of everybody else.
Of course. All
the other countries, you know, all the flights, you know, so we're sitting there and I couldn't recognize what we had. It just was so surreal to see the animals take over Shades and the plants was growing wild, and it was awful. It was awful. Now, having said that, at that time there is a reset for everyone, you know, not us alone, but a proper reset. And we got into this whole understanding of health. Health became the most important thing. You know what I mean? Because regardless of what we had out there, we were all alive, we were all healthy, we were losing friends around us, but the family was strong. And we realized that your values shift. You really shifted. And we were looking about developing our own sustainable garden, growing our own fruit and veg. Health and wellness was all a rage. And that was the conversation we were having. Again, one of the greatest things that happened from the reset was Rochelle. Rochelle was coming out here to Barbados. She loved Barbados. At a young age, I just thought, wow, she just adapted to this place. This was meant to be for her. Mm-hmm. And Rochelle has grown to be the host that we were looking for. Do you know what I mean? And it's a family line. So for us, that is what we've always wanted, to keep that kind of lineage going. So so in came Rochelle with her ideas. The young people, you know, the young people again, they think fast. And social media, we were trying to catch up, but she's ahead of the curve. So we was able to fuse it all together, honestly. And we go from strength to strength. Yeah, so it's a labor of love for us. And like I said, meeting wonderful people like yourselves, you know, this is what it's all about. You know, it really is. So the future of Shades, we want to lean more towards health and wellness. And I see us being a health and wellness spa boutique hotel at the end of it, honestly.
Ooh.
So with that said, I'll introduce to Rochelle, my niece. My niece.
You did that so good, right? I'm there. I need Drew meeting.
Do you know what? It's so weird. The way the screen and the way you guys look, I'd think you're in England. I wouldn't. It's hard to comprehend. I mean, you look like you've got a backdrop. It doesn't seem that you're.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looks like.
You wait till you hear the chicken start crowing.
That's what we keep looking around for.
Any minute now.
Oh, so hang on a minute. So Rochelle,
yes,
I know you. I know who you are. Rochelle is a fantastic host. Really went over and above for us. Cecile's just written that. See, comments are coming true.
No, thank you, Cecile.
Comments coming through. So you kind of like, I mean, who doesn't want family abroad? Everybody wants family abroad because, like, when they go on holiday, you don't have a pay. That's what's in their mind. So you've gone over to Barbados and you're thinking like holiday, or are you thinking more, or I don't know. What were you thinking?
I think initially it used to be holiday. This has always been my safe haven. This has always been my escape. And without getting too much into it, I think my holiday blues started lasting longer and longer. So every time I was going back home, everyone says, "Oh, you got holiday blues," and I'm like, "This is not holiday."
Sorry, Rochelle. Let me to get you shift over because you're slightly out of the...
sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so it was a holiday blues kind of thing. And everyone was like, "Oh, but that's natural." But it was just, I was like, all right, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it was like a month. And then I just had to start asking dad and uncles, you know, is it all right for us to come out? Can I come out? And they was like, yeah. So I get here, it went from 10 days to 14 days to 21 days to 30 days. And then my time spent in England was getting shorter and shorter. And I realized I'm spending more time out here My background is in supporting people, so I've supported a wide age range from it should have been 16, but from 8 to 35 neat, and then I went into the older category, so up to 65, vulnerable adults age 16 to 65.
Mhm.
So I've been in that career, that field for, at the time, I think it was about 13, 14 years.
Wow.
All I ever knew. So I had a 10-year plan, and I watched Uncle Errol. I don't know, he's going to get a bit shy at the moment. He's always been an inspiration to me. He's the entrepreneur of the family, but he's the get up and go. He's got an idea.
People do the talking, but they don't do the walk, right?
Yeah, and Uncle Errol has an idea, and he makes it happen. And I think with me, I was doing it, and I said, oh yeah, I want to do this, and I'd have the steps to get there. But watching Uncle Errol do it, and then I started asking questions, and I think first you started out in Antigua, then you came here. And watching them with grandma, and you know the story behind grandma, and then coming out here, I watched him, like, I come out and he's doing this, but he's got a business meeting here, and he's got business, and then that person comes in and, oh, Errol, I need to pick your brain. He's that guy, and it started happening with me. So I was just, the only way that I can feed off of this is if I'm actually out here. I had a couple of accidents at work, and it kind of changed my life a little bit. I transitioned into another career path, and I actually got caught up in the London Bridge attack. So at that stage in my life, I just said, you know what, if that was my last day, I'd be upset with myself that I haven't done what it is that I wanted to do. And it's better for you to try and fail to start again than not try at all. And then, you know.
Most definitely.
So I had this big bright spark idea enabled by Uncle Errol, and I just said to them all, and I said, look, this is what I'm thinking and this is how I'm feeling, because you was in England at that time, wasn't you? And it just so happened, because we're all like passing ships, one of them has to be here, but it just so happened at that time everybody was actually in England, and I remember calling, and they was all in the house, you was all watching the TV, and you was like, no way, we've got this on the news, and what are you talking about? And I just said, is everybody safe? As I came through the door, I think it was a little bit of a bittersweet moment. I was happy to see everybody, but my mind was just racing. This is not where this is not where I'm supposed to be. I think it took me about 2 weeks for me to really. You was just about to leave, and I remember saying to you, Uncle, what would you say if I came out to Barbados? He's like, what do you mean? What would you do? What would you? He's like, are you sure you want to do that? You're so young. You know, Barbados. Then you know it's not fast paced.
She's still my baby niece in my eyes.
He couldn't come. I remember, and he went to Dad. He's like, but what? And she's come to me, but does she really Barbados, England? And I was like, no, this is what I think I need to do. And I think because I had done supporting people and I've been living for other people for so long, I hadn't actually done it. It was one of the questions that my dad always used to ask me. And I was brought up by my dad. I was raised by my dad. And he always used to say, when are you going to start living for you? Or what are you doing for you? And I thought, when I come out here and I speak to Uncle Errol does his thing. I walk down to the beach, or I'm in the pool, and I'm with Granddad, and I'm amongst, sorry, let me just quickly cut. I'm amongst all the vegetation and the wildlife. Nighttime, the stars are out, they're bright. And I just said, this is what I want to do. So Dad came to me. He was just like, look, Uncle Errol come to me and he told me what you want to do. Are you sure? I said, yeah. I had a 5-year plan. Got caught up in the attack, and I just said it needs to happen now. So I remember Uncle Errol had come back then this side, and I said, Uncle, I'm still there. It hasn't subsided now that everything's over. I said, I'm ready. My dad was actually really funny, and he said, I give it 3 weeks. I think he said. He said he'd give it 3 weeks, and then he said he'd give it 3 months, and he's just like, and I remember him calling, and there was the crickets and the whistling frog. You know what that sounds like at night, and he was just like, no, wait. I'm hearing the wrong thing. You're on the wrong side. I'm supposed to be that side, but literally, I came here. I think I spent 2 or 3 months, and then I said, Uncle, this is really what I want to do. I went back home. And I worked my butt off. I saved as much money as humanly possible at that time. And I just said to myself, worst case scenario is this doesn't work. And I have to leave. I go back home. But it's not to give up. It's just to rework it.
Yeah.
So I came in. You actually had a printing business at the time, Island Print. So Uncle Errol took me under, because I mean there was only so long I could do nothing, sit and read books, and I'm still trying to do stuff online and remotely work, but it didn't have the same. So Uncle Errol took me under his wing. I started printing. Eventually I bought his business partner and stuff like that.
Printing, she took it to another level. Honestly, I thought I had a business idea. Honestly, the printing game, it needs a brain like hers, and she's so creative. I was shocked. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought I knew my niece, but she had some qualities about her that just shone. Honestly,
you know what, we have to. For me, there's so much. We think we know the young people, and you know what? When we give them the opportunities and that, they will soar.
Wow. Yeah.
And you know what? I was quite fortunate that I have an uncle that, I think you went away to Antigua, and you was just like, I'm leaving you here, and I was like, but uncle, you haven't shown me nothing, and he's just like, look, the stuff is there, test it out. I've shown you the basics, and when he come back, I was like, uncle, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this.
Really?
He's like, but you can't do that, and I said, well, I did, I tried it,
That's the truth.
Again, sometimes that's what you've got to do. You got to know that you want something for yourself. And I actually got that from him. You know, if a lot of the ideas that Uncle Errol says that he has, or a lot of the things that he wants to do, if he listened to a lot of his own peers, he probably wouldn't have done anything. And I've watched Uncle Errol. He's got that idea.
Yeah.
And even if there's a little bit of a setback, he might have to rework it or remodel it. But he goes out and he does it. So in effect, that I've kind of adopted that for myself. I take the foundation and then I build on it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But you can definitely, put your little swirl and your stamp on it. So that's what I did. I came on and I felt I did it. And then, just to touch on the COVID thing, I'm someone, I revel in my own company. So I'm not, it doesn't, Uncle Errol was quite surprised that I was here, and I was unfazed by my own company, but obviously fazed by what was going on in the world. But it gave me a lot of time and opportunity to think about things. Granddad, obviously, life and age, it was taken over. So I was here to support him. And then unfortunately, obviously, the decline of the economy around the world, but most of all for Barbados, because we do rely heavily on tourism and word of mouth, but it could only take us so far at that point in time. So my dad and my uncles, they obviously had to start thinking and brainstorming about the direction of which Shades was going to take. And primarily initially it was long term. He was going to try and do it long term, or what's that thing, timeshare or long term. So I was effectively, if it was going to work, and again, you had a timeline, I think it was at 6 to 12 months, just to see where it was going. And they started to put all the models in, and they was brainstorming it between each other. And there's like, Ross, do you think that this is something that you could do? And I said, well, effectively, I'll just be here for house management, property management. As soon as those airlines started reinstating flights, those emails and those phones were, and I was like, this is not what you guys said was gonna be. And then I said, look, this is not my forte, though my background is supporting people and I'm working with people, so no 2 days are ever the same. I'm sure I've got transferable skills that I can try and put into this. And then I've been watching Uncle Errol for years, and that's what he was doing, before COVID. I can only try and try to mesh the two worlds. Give me the same 6 to 12 months that we was going to take for the long-term transition. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, I guess you got to start interviewing for somebody. But I'm here and I'm family, so I would like to, show my gratitude and put in that same work and obviously help. And I guess there's nothing better than having a family-orientated model, because once you're all involved from the ground up, you've watched this grow from the ground up. I've watched the blood, the sweat, the tears, the back and forth, the trying to find this right person, the gardener, you got the pool, you got the development in itself.
Tell him I said hi.
That's crap. We will when he pops up. He'll no doubt he'll come out the wall whistling in a minute.
Is he there?
Somewhere. But I for me, I look at it and every day I'm a part of it.
An important part of it. Very important
Stop,
topic.
man.
Yeah.
You don't even need to say- I know you're saying that, Errol, but Cecile
Okay.
said it, and from us all, but you're going to hear more. And I certainly would like to get you guys back anyway. But
100%. I mean, this was daunting for me. You knew that, Dee.
and I said, like, you ain't coming on for no interview. If you think you're coming on for an interview, you might as well
No.
go somewhere else. I said it's
No,
chat.
you know what? My biggest thing is, I think when I got lost leaving the supporting people field after I had the accident at work, I did become a little bit depressed, and I know I shared that during our wellness retreat. But my thing is, I think what Shades has given me back is my interaction and my engagement with people, and I love meeting people from all walks of life. I love meeting people internationally, locally. I like learning from people. So I feel like I have fitted in, and I'm grateful that they gave me the opportunity to even be able to try it. Because they could have said no. They could have said that, we need it to soar a little bit, but they gave me the opportunity and I took it. And
A little bit. It's soaring more than a little bit.
oh, thank you. But yeah, and I tried and I love it, and I love being a product of them as well. I love feeding from them, and I love them feeding into me. They don't understand what they do for me as much as they say that I'm doing for Shade. So I am grateful. I'm grateful.
Oh, post it up. Check that out.
Oh, thank you, Cecile. She says, Shades is you, Rochelle. You are Shades. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, and it was a pleasure of meeting all of you. You guys are amazing. I mean, the book alone, I've got it in my Amazon basket. It will be purchased. But I've got my mum coming over too, so she's going to bring it over to me. But no, it was, and even Uncle Errol giving me opportunity to get involved with you guys as well. That was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was all meant to be. Honestly, it was all meant to be. Didn't know you guys beforehand, and I said to Sandra, as good as everything could have been, your venue needs to be on point. Your hosts, which you guys were, need to be on point. You can make or break an event. You know that, Errol, don't you?
100%.
Or
100%.
whatever it might be. And in abundance, honestly, the message, we're all still talking about it, and there's so much more. We're talking, people are going like, they want to sign up for next year. And,
Well, you guys can get a taster of Uncle Errol and the rest of the family on July the 13th. Sorry, I'm plugging. Sorry. I don't know if this is...
why are you apologizing? This is
I
what
don't know if it's allowed. All right. But on July the 13th in England, we are doing another one of our annual Shades reunion. I'm going to pass that over you because...
The whole family, it's a family affair as usual. We've done this for a few years. We have a get together for all the guests, all our friends, just celebrating life. Do you know what I mean? And what happens is all the family are the hosts, all the kids, all the grandkids, everyone. We just work as a team and just put our energy and our vibe. Do you know what I mean? And laughter is so key. You know what I mean? Having
Food
fun
for your soul, man.
really is. You know what I mean? Take it off, man.
And you, when I said sack the DJ, you know I wasn't joking. I was serious, Errol. I was serious. Just in case other people would say that I was only kidding. No, I weren't kidding.
Luckily, I don't DJ on those nights.
And that message from Jem, we made some amazing connections, and it's all down to being at Shades with a brilliant team.
Thank you.
World.
Thank you.
You remember this?
Thank you, Jem.
This is out to the masses, and oh my gosh, we're going to talk more with you. This isn't a one-off, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. We've broken the ice now. My virginity has been taken.
Oh, stop it.
Oh my God.
Uncle Errol.
We all grown folks now. Sorry.
Oh, look at that. Cecile's not working, so she's coming. Look at that. See? You're going to see us. We're going to be reaching. I know you'll be there, aren't you? You're not coming.
No, unfortunately, I can't. I've got to stay here. I'll be with Grandad this side, but I'll be there in the spirit.
It's going to be awesome. So tomorrow, guys, is one's birthday. So this is birthday celebrations as well.
Happy birthday. No, we're not
birthday.
supposed to do that pre-birthday.
No?
Happy celebrations, and we'll say happy birthday
Oh,
to
really?
you. Yeah, we're supposed to do that.
Oh, really? Oh, happy celebrations.
It was important that you came on today because remember I said it's 6 years plus it's my birthday, and next month is going to be good next month, but I really wanted you guys to be on today and to see you in like kind of it feels like in person, and yeah, honest, you don't know what you've done. For some of us, I know most of us, it has been life-changing. There's things that have happened that at some stage we will be sharing, and yeah, you're part of that journey.
Oh,
So
Thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot to us.
and thank you for remembering us. So we're not
Yeah.
out of sight, out of mind,
Yeah,
because
man.
you guys definitely aren't.
Yeah,
So
man.
you must be mad. You're probably thinking like, why she keep messaging me?
not at all. I love when your name just pops up in the. I said, oh, there goes Deez. There she is.
No problem, darling. So many messages. Much love from Jem. Oh, look at that. Cecile's getting a little emotional.
Yeah.
But we will see you on the 13th of July.
Yeah.
I'm going to be messaging you because I want you back. I have messaged, is it Darren? Is it Darren, the mushroom guy?
Darren, he just left. He put past, yeah. Darren.
And
Yeah.
I said to him about being on, so he's going to be on the show in
Nice.
July, and I'd like to get Corey
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, reach out. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah,
Lovely.
yeah, definitely.
Lovely.
So what do you guys want to leave the masses out there? Because they're thinking like, do you know what? Barbados wasn't on my radar, but maybe now, do you know what? Maybe Barbados might be the place. So what do you want to leave them with, pitch them with? I don't know. Whatever you guys want.
To me, your testimonials are really helping us. Honestly, you really feel a genuine love for it, and we always want to create a home from home experience. Do you know what I mean? It's easy. You want to make it easy, simple, easy. Do you know what I mean? It is. It's to the point where you don't even know you're away from home.
That's it.
Get on with your holiday because everything has been taken care of.
No, you do
You know
know.
what I mean?
You're
Yeah.
trust.
Yeah. So that's
This is all of our backyards.
yeah. Yeah.
You go out of your way for I don't know, whatever it is, and it's like nothing's too much.
Nah.
And yeah,
You know, yeah, we've travelled ourselves. You know, when we go away, we know what we want, and we want everyone to have that and more.
I think that the key fact, the key point that we all don't forget is that we're all human. What is it that you would want, and how do you want somebody else to feel? So we're very family orientated. Our family is very close knit, and obviously that's why, you know, Uncle Errol also has a radio station, UK246.com.
why are you apologizing? This is what the show is.
Sorry, I don't know because I don't know the etiquette, so I'm just but I'm putting it out there. Once I've said it, it's there. Do you know what I mean?
Post that in
Yeah.
shows actually afterwards. For those of them sort of thinking like, oh my god, I'm still buzzing. Errol Show follows this at 10 o'clock, and we're going to put
UK246. Thank you, Dee.
UK246.
Thank you, Han.
Yeah.
Crack the DJ.
So look at this.
To do that.
This is what I had. Hey,
It's a shades affair. Look at that.
this is the guava wine.
No, but honestly, just to finish it, I think that as family orientated as we are, and within our family, we like to make sure that we're all okay and we all pick each other up and make sure everyone's happy. We extend that out to everybody. So Uncle Errol on his radio station, when we do the family reunions, when we do our annual golf tournament, we just make sure that everybody, when you come here, it's home from home, but it's an escape, and it's a feel-good escape. So we want to know if there's any one moment in your life that you felt good and you was able to escape all the stresses and all the strifes and just escape for that one moment and have that one little bit for you. We want that to be shades. And hopefully, whether it's your first time, your second time, you repeat, you come back in 4 years, we just want to make sure that there's one moment in life that you remember for a positive, and that's with us. So we hope that you guys got that, and you guys will return. And if not, please share it far and wide.
We know that's happening. Errol,
Yes, my dear.
you realise this young lady, you don't need a business card when you've got.
I'm telling you.
You don't need
I'm telling you. It's another level all the time.
Nobody with a business card. Nobody. But if you really,
I learned from the best though. Don't let him just love fool you and then smile. I learned from the best. I did.
did you see the message? I don't know why she put that. Sack the DJ.
Listen to that one.
Jem's put, we were made to feel like part of the family, and you can't beat that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys.
You, Jem.
And thanks for allowing us on your platform, man. I really appreciate that. Really do.
No, honestly, don't thank me. I said, and do you know what? What a way to start the show. We are live in Barbados with Errol and Rochelle, Shades of Barbados. Check out the link, check out the information. You can travel there whenever you like, but hey, there's going to be another treat. Catch up with Sandra Moore, who's on a cruise at the moment. What's that about? What's she doing cruising, huh? Come back from holiday.
She's living life.
Life is for living.
She's living life. Fantastic.
It sure is. So, Rochelle, anything that you want to pass on to anybody before you disappear?
Don't seclude yourself. Don't constrict yourself. There's enough constriction in the world. You got to do what you need to do for you. Sometimes being selfish is actually giving, because you get to start to fill up your own cup because you've been replenishing everybody else's. So live for you. We're here for a short time.
Not a long time.
Not a long time. So live good.
Tune in to Rochelle next time. She's going to have her own show.
Oh, stop it. You keep saying this.
We're working on that. And Errol Show UK 246. Is that right, Errol?
It is. It is 10 o'clock. UK 246.
Afterwards, 10 o'clock. Share the link,
Vintage.
and hopefully we will get you guys back on real soon. All right.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Deez.
you for
Thank you
having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
God bless, guys. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, we were live in Barbados. Yeah, definitely wise words. They were, as you can see, that I can't explain it to you, Shell. UK246.com, that's right. Because Errol is from Ilford, and him and his brothers, there's three of them, and they kind of like come out. His dad's literally just turned 91 since we've got back. And yeah, amazing. It's good. Jem, she was one of the, yeah. Well, Jem, I don't even want to be talking about you, because like, bye. Bye. Yeah, what was I going to say? Have we got our next guest?
You got Janetti there. Just
Yes.
needed to put the camera on. Yes.
If you can swing that young lady in.
Yeah,
Oh my
she's
God.
there. Yeah. She's there.
Greetings.
Hey,
Hey,
That-
sister.
that was really interesting.
Did you see that? We were in Barbados just now.
I did. That was really interesting. I love that. I love the
Very-
camaraderie of the family unit. And sometimes when you look at a whole family unit and how much skills each family member has,
Exactly.
why not get together? I mean, as they said, COVID was a pinnacle turning point.
Mhm.
I mean, they lost their mother, and then it was like, okay, you know what? Life is short. What can we all do? What can we all do? And I think COVID did it for us as life in a lockdown. It did it for them. They said that the health and everything came into focus.
Yes.
Live good. We've got to treat each other better,
Isn't it?
communicate and collaborate. And that's exactly what they did. And they forgot about the procrastination and the what ifs and the maybes and the could haves. And they just went out and did it. And I got to respect them for that, because it's a big step. It's a brave step, putting all the eggs in one basket, as Errol said.
Yeah.
But sometimes omelette can taste good. You know, even if you fall flat, right? Eat the omelette. Eat the
Well,
omelette.
this is it. You got to crack them eggs to then see what. But if you ain't cracking no, ain't nothing going to happen, right?
Exactly. And you know, it made me think about myself, because I was doing one-woman shows before. And then, like you said, with this show as well, coming in on 2018, and it being your 6th year, I did my books in 2018. and I was doing one-woman shows before that.
Yeah.
But it was the COVID time. The COVID time, 2020, when I did a show at the Legacy Centre of Excellence in Birmingham, when I was the only show out of all these big theatres, London theatres, and everything was being cancelled, Dee. And I was the only show that was still going on. And I says, Lord, there's something in this. There's something in this. I am being allowed to tell my truth to a 25% audience. I had masks on, they had masks on, but we were still allowed to do it. And I says, why out of all of these theatres and of all of these people, me in Birmingham has been granted the chance to still go and do my show, and people turned up. And I looked at that and I says, you know what? I am meant to tell the truth of myself and the truth of other people. And since then, I've been telling the truth of other people's stories and producing them into plays, writing songs for people and things like that. And I've been purposely choosing people without experience so that the truth of them can also come out and that they can shine as well. I love an underdog.
I know. And, you know, for those people that are watching and thinking like, hang on, I've seen this lady, or I don't know who this lady is, I need you to give just a little bit of backdrop, Jeanette, so that way then, because sometimes when I get people on the show, people are doing X or Y or whatever the case might be, it's very important for me, for people watching, to understand it doesn't matter where you are and you think that's it.
No.
And it's a case of like, if you've got the will and the determination and it's your passion, what's there?
It is. I mean, I was just leading off. I'm still chomping at the bit from those two, Errol and Rochelle. You know what I mean? I was just chomping on that. So I just came in all bells blasting. But yeah, I'm Jeanette Barrett. As you can see my name on the screen, aka Empress Lyricist B, also aka Janetti Machete. So I've got several personas. I use all of those personas in my everyday life, my family life, my working life, my performance life. And all of those personas are necessary in my book. And I believe that we've all got varying personas anyway. Some of the personas we shy from. And I don't believe we should shy from any of our personas, because some people go, I don't know if I should do this, I don't know if I should do that. And start to talk themselves out of their passions, or believe, I'll wait until
everything's right or everything's perfect. And you're waiting.
We're not in a world that everything is going to be right when you want it to be right. Exactly. And there's not always going to be that person that's going to come and help you. So stop waiting, stop procrastinating. If you're chomping at the bit and you've got a passion, you've got a vision, just like Errol and Rochelle, go out and do it. And it doesn't matter if you fail.
This is the thing, isn't it?
Don't fear the failure. Fear the not doing. Fear the regret. Fear the I never.
Yes.
Lying down in your bed sick and say, why didn't I?
Yes.
Fear that, because every time you try and fail, you learn something and you change direction. You develop. That's the whole way we develop. We come in layers. Mm-hmm. And that's why we shed skin and shed hair daily. We come in layers. We regrow. We rejuvenate ourselves. And the brain keeps ticking over. You can have that idea today.
Yeah.
Next week, the idea slightly change. And it keeps developing. It keeps growing. You go into it. But if you don't go in it at all, it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
You can't expect people to come to you and say, or start moaning about people. They never helped me. They didn't. Why didn't they? Why? No. The why starts with you. What is your why? Never mind anybody else's why.
200.
What is your why? And why aren't you doing your why? So I said to myself, okay, you know, I wrote my book. I wrote 3 books of my own autobiography. I could have write 6. I had so much to say. I still got a lot to say. And I'm not dead yet. And I'm not very old. So you don't have to wait until a certain age to say you're going to do your autobiography, because your autobiography is your truth up to the date you are living now.
Yes.
Simple. Okay. And you know, so in life, as you get older, you start to forget a little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or even your Facebook pictures can come up and say, oh, I remember that. See, it's prompting. But if you write something or do something or go after the thing that you was thinking about,
Yes.
make it materialize, bring it to fruition. Because if you don't, it can be forgotten. And then it's a regret rather than a good memory, something that you can look at and say, yes, I did that. And then pass
No
it
one
on,
can take that away from you. No one.
you know. I mean, you out there, listeners, viewers who have got children, it come to a point where the children start to divert from you. And you're trying to tell them, so, you know, when I was little, I used to, you don't know, no, that's it. That was then. Okay. But if you've got a story to tell them and they can see it, visualize it, read it, taste it, digest it, they can understand you a lot more, see where you're coming from, and the communication gap narrows. They become interested in what you have to say. They become hungry for the knowledge that you can give them. And they will grow and they will understand what their genetics, what their history, what their legacy actually is. And they will start to understand your whys and develop their own whys. We have to narrow this generation gap. We really have to narrow this generation gap, because the children of the future are becoming lost in this vortex of technology and no natural thinking. I think that's dangerous.
It is.
Okay. Everything is just, I'll look into this, I'll look into that, and listen to what that says, or follow this person, follow that person. What about following what your own hunger is? What about tapping into your actual energy field of knowledge, your actual purpose in life, rather than, oh, so-and-so's got this dress, so-and-so's got that dress, so-and-so's got this hairstyle, so-and-so's doing this, so I want to do, Stop and think about what your true meaning in life is, what your true purpose in life is. And when you really think about your ancestry, your parents, your siblings, and all this, there's something that connects us all. There is a chain that connects us all. And if you listen and learn from them, you find, you know what, I actually do like to do that. And I was thinking about that. And maybe that little prompt and knowing how they succeeded or how they grew in something might actually fertilize the seed that's in your mind and stop you feeling negative about something that you think you can't do, and put it into something that you know you can do because they did it before you.
I so love you, Jeanette, on another level. And we've only physically met probably twice. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's very rough,
isn't it? Probably twice physically met, but in terms of actually no, 3 times.
Yeah,
3 times, because the first time was the Black Book case.
that's right. That big picture.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's on another level. But for me, watching you, seeing you, because there's real and real. There's real and real. And as you sort of said, as in terms of the work that you do, and this is all voluntary. When people think you're doing all this stuff, it's like, right, and you're producing and you're this and you're that, and you're getting some money from somewhere. This young lady ain't getting money from nowhere. Unless you're donating, unless you're attending, and that's part of the money that pays for all the things that need to be paid for. And guess what? Even then, there's still things that haven't been paid for that this young lady is dipping into and finding the funds for out of her own pocket.
This is it. This is the thing. Yeah. And money is the root of all evil. Money is where people fall flat. I have about money to do that. I can't invest in myself because I haven't got the money. Okay. People need to invest in their ideas, need to invest in that, but it doesn't always take money. An investment can be you speaking to somebody else your idea. Speaking to somebody else your idea, not being frightened to show your idea so that they can visualize it as well and become as hungry as you are for that idea. And this is where collaboration over competition comes into play. And this is where the capital T in trust comes into play. Trust your own idea, trust your own vision, and then sell it to somebody else. And if they're coming back with 0.5%, 0.5% on your idea, it's 0.5%. Somebody else can come back with 1/4.
Okay.
Still putting money on the table. I like your idea. However, if you did this, throw you a curveball and let you think outside your own box as well, because we all got our box. Only got 2 eye, the 1 brain, the 2 ear, and the 1 mouth. Right? So other people with them 2 eye, 2 ear, 1 brain, and 1 mouth, that means you got 4 eye, 4 ear.
Okay.
Go on. You see, so the box becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until it's like a Wembley field. Right? And all of those visions, and then you start to talk, and then seasoning is dropped on your idea.
Yes, my dear.
Every single cook will cook the same recipe, but as a Black people especially, we don't measure. We taste it. So when I give out these ideas and these people taste my recipe, them come with them own seasoning and dash it on there. I said, that tastes nice to me. Let's talk.
Yes.
And that's when the money start to come in. That's where the idea starts to grow, to stretch. And you start to see it in a bigger field.
I say it all the time.
But you just have to put it out there. You have to talk. And if you're by yourself, you put it out there, somebody is going to see it, because not everybody in the world blind. Somebody would see it. Right? Somebody will come back. I liked your flyer. What's it about?
Yes.
That one thing gives you the opportunity to tell them what it's about.
Yeah.
Now, this play that I'm doing in Luton at the Hat Factory with you on the 28th of June, 5:30 till 7:30 on a Friday. Yes, it's a Friday, people. Come straight from work. It's a Friday. Start your weekend with me. This Windrush play is a true story. Now, we've all heard about Windrush generation people. We've all heard about how they did in England, in Scotland, in Ireland, in Wales, and whereabouts. Have you actually heard the story of them being on the ship itself? True story, not a fabricated one, not one made up with bits and bobs, but a true life story direct from somebody's mouth. Have you heard one of those? Because I have. I had the honor and the privilege to nurse one particular lady, a 96-year-old lady that was on that ship. Was on that ship. And she told me her story. But oh, people, let me tell you, it wasn't easy to draw that story out of this lady. Our generation, my age group, 58 to 65, keep things tight-ish. But you go 75 to 90, it's tighter still. So I had the honor of nursing this lady, but she thought I was a child, a young person, younger than what I am. She thought, oh no, she can't open her mouth and tell me anything. But, oh, you know nothing, you know, where you know how to make caramel porridge? Cause that when me want to near my morning, me no want no cornflake. When them come to look after me, them a come with cornflake. Then no even toast the bread good. So she started like that. I thought, okay, here we go. And she said, my father born in 1903. And I said, 1903? Oh, that's really interesting. My father was born in 1909. She said, where you say? 19 what? 1909. 1909. Oh, your father? You mean your grandfather? I said, no, my father was born in 1909, before the Titanic. She said, come here, sit down. Where your name? And she went on. And then I told her bits and bobs, and she got more and more interested, because I told her that my father was torpedoed when he served on 3 different ships, and he was in the American Naval Forces. When I mentioned the name ship, well, your father get torpedoed. Let me tell you, you know about Windrush ship? You hear anything about Windrush? Says, yes, I. Well, I was on that ship. And it wasn't like what people say. They never treat us so nice. You see all them picture there. Let me tell you where they gone. And she went on, and over a period of time, more and more things came. I couldn't even get half of the care done. She was just going on and on and on. And it was a period of time, and the story came out more and more and more. And as she was telling me, I so much wanted to write it down. I was frightened that I would forget. But just like Errol and Rochelle, I was chomping at the bit. And when I left, I would write down bits and bits what I heard, just so that I could remember. And it was mainly so that I can go back to her the next time and tell her, yes, you remember when you told me so? So she knew that I had listened, right? And showed her respect. I never wanted to be caught out. You remember me did tell you about so. You did hear me? I did hear you. You wasn't going to catch me out. Okay. So I would study and I would take these things on board. And it grew and grew. And one day I said to her, you're really, really very interesting. I'm so honored for me to be coming here and looking after you. And she says, well, as long as they not send me one of them, the people can't understand what them I say. And I was saying to myself, they probably don't understand what you're saying either. So I wanted to say that, but I didn't. So the story grew, and we got a lovely bond between each other. I got a fantastic bond with the daughter and the granddaughter. And after a while, I showed the granddaughter, especially, what I'd written, and I said, this is what your gran has been telling me, all of this. So gran was she hasn't told me anything like that. And I says, well, it's perhaps because I told her that my father was born in 1909, and she said, your father's born? And then it went on. I said, okay. I said, look, before we go into any of that, I'm actually age such and such. She said, you're not. So, and I thought, okay, no, let's not go there. And then I had to tell her my history. So when I told her my history and all that I've gone through, and that my father had a house, and when Windrush people came, the later end of Windrush, my father rented out the rooms upstairs, and we had a big house, and we had a car and everything. And she was like, wow, that's really interesting. No wonder Nan's really, I'm so pleased it's you. Are you going to keep coming here all the time, or we're going to have different agencies? I says, no, I'm assigned to her now. She asks for me regularly. She doesn't want to change. So I would now start to do the living, etc., etc. So we all as a family got this rapport going, and that's how the story came about. So yes, I'm really, really looking forward to.
Jeanette, I have got a couple of minutes because I'm going to have to wrap, because my next guest is waiting in the wings.
I've gone through it.
We are proper buzzing. There's a message there. Are there tickets still available? I can tell you now, yes, there are. This is what happens. Yes, there are. And everyone's like, oh, I'm going to get mine a week before or a couple of days before. And then what's going to happen is the ticket's gone, and they'll be trying to message you, message Shell, message me. Yeah. When they're gone, they're gone. You can't create seats in that kind of venue.
That's what they did with Birmingham. They kind of left it too. Birmingham is sold out. We're at Birmingham first on the 21st of June, the week before Luton. And people are still phoning up and trying to get tickets. They're gone. They are gone. They're sold out. It's dry. There's nothing left in Birmingham. And you can't come in there and stand up fire stations. So don't do that for Luton. Get your and you can choose your seats for Luton. So get on the link, choose your seat, get your ticket, and be ready to come. It's not long now. Don't miss the true Windrush legacy story of a phenomenal woman. Believe me, I was blown away by this story.
This is true. How many times do we get something that's true? Oh, this is gold, Luton. This is gold. Whether you actually, I'm saying Luton, it doesn't matter where because there's people going to be travelling from far and wide. The tickets are available now. They are £12.50, I believe, for adults. And then is it 8?
Concession. So students and 60 plus. And for adults, it's £12.50 for adults. Concessions for adults 60 plus and children and students, it's £8. And there's a slight booking fee. And that is good going. That is good going for almost 2 hours.
Come on, guys, please, please, please. And we make it really clear, not interested, because if you leave it late, that means you weren't interested. I don't care what you say, you weren't interested. If you want to go, start it early.
Yeah.
Okay, sort it early. Leave
out that one Uber Eats. That's one Uber Eats. Right? And go and book your ticket. Leave out one Uber Eats.
Tell them, Jeanette. Tell them.
One Uber Eats. I've cooked up something for yourself from scratch and buy your ticket.
Okay. All the information is going across the screen now. Tickets are available from the Culture Trust. If you're not sure, if you missed anything, contact us at Simply Deez and we will point you in the right direction. Okay. We've got the Simply Together show, so it'll probably be maybe Janetti or one of the others that are actually participating. We've got quite a few Luton people, local people that will be participating in this show also as well. So it'd be great to support where you can. So for now, young lady, Miss Lyricist B, thank you so much for enlightening us.
Pleasure.
With your amazing everything. And we will catch up.
We will
catch up soon, darling. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. Shell.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. Mum's going to be going. We're certainly going. Tishi, I don't know why you're asking if tickets available. You're going.
You're going.
Don't worry about that.
I was about to say that.
I'm sorting out your tickets too. Don't worry. Sorting that out. I need to get that sourced and sorted certainly by Thursday this week, because I ain't talking it and then be one of them that don't get a ticket.
Yes.
So that's going to be absolutely amazing. That is Janetti. It's from Birmingham. It's sold out in Birmingham the week before, and she's bringing it to Luton. We have got local people, Veronica E. We've got Leisha. We've got Pamela Thompson, and there's a load of other people. But those are the local ones that, and they're our sisters. We know them. They're all part of Life in a Lockdown as well. So So moving swiftly on, because Shell's going like, she's packed the show. Yes, I had packed the show. Shelley, you will remember this young lady. I will probably get her name wrong, but I hope. I don't mind giving it a go. So bring on the young lady in question, s'il vous plaît. Let's see if I can get her name right. I've been trying to get her for absolutely. Right, we have everyone's going like, all right. What's all that ceremonious like? What's she whooping about? Because we.
Hi, Shirley.
Yeah.
Get it right. We have.
Hello, Auntie D, as I call you.
Not Loretta, Udawa, Ogaboro, Oka.
You tried. It's Loretta Oduware Ogboro Oko. Yay!
That's what I said.
Yeah, and Oduware is from Edo State in Nigeria.
Right, I knew that. Nike better be paying attention. She
Very.
better be message her directly and tell her, get on.
Yeah, I have to tell you.
Welcome at last. I have been trying. So last year when I hosted the conference for the conference was in April, and
Yeah.
we were promoting this. So from last year, early last year, this young lady was supposed to have come on the show, Shell. No. Some people make out they're busy, Shell. I don't know. Just
She's very busy.
I can put doctor in the front of my name too. Busy, and now I've finally got her on the show. So welcome.
Thank you
so
ladies.
much. Are you in the UK? Firstly, are you in the UK?
Good question. Yes, I am, but it's a good question. I am in the UK. I've got my little young man in the house with me today. Say hello to everybody.
We were live in Barbados earlier on.
And yes, I have been busy in the last 1 year, Dee. You know, Auntie D. Everybody listening, permit me. I call her. She's my Auntie D. I don't know what she is, simple, and she does simply Deez, but she's my Auntie D.
So much. So time is short, as always, but I need to pack in so much.
Let's go.
People are kind of like, some people like, have I seen her before? Have I seen a picture before? Some people like, I've seen her before. And some people like going like, me no know who she is. Me no know. So I'm like, what I do with my guests, if I can, I like to peel back like an onion, peel back the layers. Okay. So we can get that foundation, because you didn't just reach where you are now.
No.
You didn't just reach there. And it's important for me, for myself as well as the audience, to find out kind of like your journey and to know that things haven't been easy, what you've done to overcome that and where you are at now, if that's okay. So peeling it back, were you born in the UK?
I like this. Let's peel back the onions. So me not know her. No. You're gonna know her now. So my name is Loretta Oduware Ogboroko, and Auntie D is right. Let's peel these onions. I mean, I used to run. I still run a space, motivational e-space. Loretta Reveals, and we always say that the tip is just the tip of success. Is just that tip of the iceberg people get to see. There's a huge chunk beneath it. So I was born in Benin City, Edo State, some 46 odd years ago, and my parents were interesting. Actually, I always say my parents were interesting because my dad was well traveled, high in status, had been round the world, and then he picked this very beautiful woman who was 30 years younger than he is. You know, where I come from, there is polygamy, where you can marry more than one wife at the same time, and everybody pretends they are living happily together. Well, I really don't know how people do that, but they did it. However, my dad was what I called a serial polygamist or monogamist. Which one? I can't really say, because he never really quite had everybody in the house at the same time. So you come, you go, and eventually my mom was the last one he settled for. And they had an interesting dichotomy. So growing up, my dad was, he was quite influential in the beginning, worked in WHO Malaria Control Unit South in Nigeria. And, you know, growing up, I had this balance. I could go to my mother and ask for the local music. It's just like you going to go and ask for Patra or Shakademos and Pliers. You know, I'll go to my mom. And then when I wanted Beethoven, Chopin, or Mozart, I'll go to my dad. So I don't think anybody could ever have had such a nice balance like I had. And my dad was one of these fathers who would tell you when you wake up how beautiful you are, how wonderfully made you are. You know, I'll come home with my friends. I attended Federal Government Girls College in Benin City then. And when we are going, he will say, oh, when you were all leaving today, I was just watching all of you. You were the finest of the lot. You know, your best assets are your legs. You can do anything you want to do. So I think I grew up having this self-esteem, the size of a cathedral, just by what my parents made me understand at the time. And guess what? Like every African mother, my mom was already in search of me. She had this vision of me having a very, very good husband. But then she also had this illusion that if I get too educated, I may not find a husband because they will all be scared of me, you know, all these. But my dad kept saying, go on. That he told me once, he said, you don't have to marry a man so that you can be his cook or be his slave. You just have to marry that man who is your friend and who you synchronize with and who would let you fly. But if along the way for that same man, you want to be a cook every day of your life and twice on Sunday, then go on. But let not that be the primary reason why you get into that relationship. I went on to actually do my medicine at the University of Benin, in Benin City, Edo State. And when I finished, I did like a mandatory 1 year service to my country. I did that in Benin as well at the time, because guess what? I had my first child last year of medical school. I often jokingly tell her that people were studying and I don't know what I was doing. I had her the last year of med school. Yeah, that's when I had her. And then after that, I moved across to Scotland. I came to Scotland, the University of Edinburgh. I studied masters. I did a master's in public health research at the University of Edinburgh. And after that, my husband then came. Yeah, my husband came and my baby came. So you see, I actually left my daughter. She was about 1 year plus when I left her and came to the United Kingdom. And when I came, I remember when I came, I had nothing on me, nothing. I didn't even know where I was going to stay. I have this unwavering faith, you know. It was the last moment I was almost airborne. And my husband remembered that, oh, his brother went to school with someone who is now in Edinburgh. So they said, well, you get on the plane and we'll call the person that you are coming. It was that interesting. So by the time I got to London, I stayed with my in-laws, my husband's mom's younger sister. And this was 2005, September. But simply Deez, Auntie D, you know, the strange thing that happened. And I mean, I'm from Nigerian descent. You are Afro-Caribbean. I'm sure you can connect to what I'm going to say. These are people that when they always come to Nigeria, they tell you how wonderful England is, how rich they are. And then I came in and she was really nice to me. She gave me all the food in the world. I wasn't looking for food at the time. She then showed me all her gold. Like, oh, this is my gold, this is this. And they were all actually beautiful. But I've never been one to be moved by those kind of material things. And then she then told me that, oh, for you to have a fulfilling life, you should go for at least a cruise, at least twice in your lifetime. I was like, okay. And then when I was leaving England for Scotland, when I was leaving London for Edinburgh, I think they gave me £5. Who does that? So all those things you were showing me, why were you showing me those things? And I mean, this goes out to anybody out there who is listening to us. You must focus on your focus. It's very important. And here I was, I hadn't even paid my school fees in Edinburgh. It's quite interesting. And then I left London for Edinburgh. I bought a ticket, I remember, for £99 then, because I didn't book ahead. I just came, you know, and that was like a huge chunk of money in 2005. But here I was, I got to Edinburgh, and this young man who they called while I was in the plane, he was there waiting for me at the train station. And when he saw me, he said, "Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, my friend sent me a very beautiful woman." And I said, "I'm Douglas's wife." And he goes, "You mean Ovie's younger brother's wife?" I said, "Yes." So we started laughing. And then he said, "So what's the deal? What have you come for?" I said, "I came to do a master's in Edinburgh. But can I tell you something?" He said, "What?" I said, "I'm really scared. I've not paid my school fees. Are they going to let me in?" He said, "What do you mean? Come on, they'll let you in. Edinburgh is one of the big schools. Let's go." He took me to his house. There were 4 other guys there. It was a 2-bedroom flat apartment. I came in, I washed, I cleaned, I cooked. They were so excited. You know, boys, they're all big men in their own right now. Some are with oil companies, others are. But what am I trying to say here? The next morning, he called his office. He used to work for Motorola in Livingston. He called them and said, "Look, I'm going to be late to work today. I have some things to do." And then he took my hand, took me to school, and took me to the course administrator and said, "Oh, this is your student you've been expecting." She was so excited. I can never forget. She was a Sarah. I don't want to say her last name. And Sarah took me and said, "Oh, welcome." And then he said, "She hasn't paid her school fees yet." And she said, "Oh, not a problem. Don't worry about that. You can always pay later." I was shocked. And she said, "You know what? Going to class. They've started studies." I was shocked. And that was how I went into class. Auntie D, that was it. And I started class. The person who was supposed to pay my school fees, who was my sponsor, never turned up. Never paid. And I went to meet them at a point. I said, "Oh, can I just be paying?" And they were like, "No, don't worry, don't worry." Fast forward, I finished school 1 year later, and I couldn't go for my graduation because I was so scared. I hadn't paid. But then they posted my certificate to my door. I was like, "What's happening? God, you must be doing some miracle here. Something is happening." And I said, "God, I think I know what you're doing. I think you are waiting for this humble daughter of yours who took a leap of faith to be somewhere first before this school fees thing is resolved." Because I don't believe that man has paid. But then fast forward to 2012. I finished school in 2006. 2012, 6 years later, I saw a random email in my box from the University of Edinburgh, from my email box. And it read, "Oh, we've been writing to you all these years to pay these school fees. Consider this the final warning. If you don't pay, we are going to institute legal action." What? I was copied into it. It was sent to my sponsor at the time. So all that years he hadn't paid. This was the final warning. I picked up the phone. I called them because then I was already working as a doctor. I said, "You know what? Don't ever get in touch with him again. I will pay. Just set up a direct debit and I'll pay." And we agreed the amount, and that was how I paid. And interestingly, the University of Edinburgh did not even put interest on top of this money. So you can see what I said, that mine is a leap of faith. I left my country. I hadn't paid that school fees. He promised he would pay. He wrote my sponsorship letter. I got the visas. And I got into the United Kingdom. But again, the people who surround you, you need to speak about your ideas, and somebody else is going to put spice on them. That's what Jeanette said. I was listening to her. I came out humbly to that young man who came to pick me. Bro, I have not paid. How are we going to do this? And he put some spice on it. He took my hand. He took a day of work. He gave me his time. His investment was not money, but it was time and inspiration. He took me right there to that school. There was nothing hidden. There was no fraud. I came out straight. I told them. And you can see how the good Lord, I'm unashamedly Christian. You know, you see how the good Lord in his infinite mercy said, this woman has exercised that faith as tiny as a mustard seed, and I'm going to take the rest steps on her behalf. Because that was a miracle. For 6 good years in the UK, where no penny is left unchased, you know, and there was no interest. And I had started working as a doctor before that email, that final email came into my box. So that's a miracle. And then I came in at the time after my master's. I was writing the exams. You know, I have to write exams. Having come from Nigeria, I was writing the exams. I wasn't passing some of them because, and I'm a very bright student, but why? Because when you have family, you're in a new place, you are a migrant, the things we go through, you know, there's a lot of psychological burden and not enough home support. But thankfully, my mother, my sister, my mother-in-law were able to come in, help me with childcare. I eventually passed my exams. And I did my training in obstetrics and gynecology. All of my obstetrics and gynecology training was in the United Kingdom. I got bored and said, you know what, let's pick up another master's. And I picked up a master's in clinical education. So I did a second master's along the way. And at some point, I became a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist. But my story would not be written today without those people who gave their time. Again, investment is not always money. And you have to also inconvenience yourself to maximize investments. What do I mean? My mother-in-law, my mom, my sister, they gave their time to help me raise my children. Childcare, being a doctor in this country, and my husband also being a doctor, can be very challenging. But they helped us. And I see some people today who said, oh, I can't live with my mom-in-law. Oh, I can't live with my sister-in-law. I can't live with this. I can't live with that. And I'm like, really? Duh. Sometimes these are the mechanisms that God has put around you to help you. But you have to give something. You have to tolerate their excesses to get what they have in store to give to you as well. So sometimes I see some women who says, oh, no, my mom-in-law is not nice. And I'm like, well, it's a two-way street, niceness. And I'm not trying to hold brief for anybody's mother-in-law. But sometimes reactions are equal and opposite. If you come into a man's life expecting to be his wife, his mother, his sister, it's going to be really difficult for you, you know, because you're not going to have anybody that's going to help you with things. But if you actually understand your role, sometimes jokingly, I tell my mother-in-law, you can't be your son's wife. You can't be me. I'm me, you know. And this stems from my self-esteem and my understanding of myself. But the truth is that these people helped me. So we must understand that a lot of people invest in our lives and not necessarily money. Auntie Janet, thank you very much. I would quote you, Janet Barnett. Not necessarily money. They invest their time. You speak to someone, you give them your idea, you share your travels, and it's a problem solved already. Along the line, I wrote books. I have a book on Amazon, actually 2 books on Amazon. No, 3. I'm even lost for counting. You see, there's My Father's Daughter by Loretta Oduware-Ogboroko, telling you how I grew up. Because in hindsight, I realized I should share with the world my father's peculiar parenting style. where you reaffirm your child every day. You know, you just speak the word into their life every day and they believe it. Let me give you an example. Recently, my daughter said, Mom, why are you vain? I said, I'm not vain. I just know whose daughter I am. I am my father's daughter. And she started laughing. She said, of course, you got a book called My Father's Daughter. But we went somewhere and somebody said, oh, how are you? Oh, you're such a pretty woman. I said, oh, yes, I know. Tell me what I don't know. And my daughter goes, why didn't you say thank you? I said, well, I really do know. I was told that every day of my life. So I understand that. Tell me what I don't know. You know, and that's from my dad. So along the way, I decided, you know what? This obstetrics and gynecology is getting a bit boring. We've written books. All right. Let's see, why do a lot of women and people from my side of the world, why do they engage in human trafficking and illegal migration? Why do they give up their home and embark on journeys where sometimes they lose their lives in the desert and in the Mediterranean? So I decided to do a PhD in law and criminology with special emphasis on trafficking, human trafficking and contemporary slavery. And I'm still working on that, you know, lifelong student.
Amazing.
Fantastic. And Mommy D, Auntie D, you know, recently I just said, you know what? All of these people looting my country dry in Nigeria, they do it because a lot of us who would fix the place, we are not at the table. So let's take our places at those tables. And I ran for governorship of Edo State in Nigeria, in my country. And even though this time around,
Stop. You're talking at a pace which is fine, but you just said something that was key there, and I would like you to repeat that. You ran as, what did you say?
I ran as governor in Edo State in Nigeria. So for people in the UK, that would be like the equivalent of like the mayor of London. And this, yeah, we can do anything we set our hands to. And this is because I think the more I worked at my my doctoral research, the more I found out that there were push and pull factors. There were push and pull factors for illegal migration and even legal migration. And one of the push factors is the fact that when you have unstable socioeconomic environment and governments in those countries, resource poor nations that don't care. I don't like to use the word developed and underdeveloped because I believe Nigeria is developed in certain ways that the UK is not or that Canada is not. But in resource poor nations, pseudo resource poor nations, because these nations are blessed, but there is mismanagement at the helms. I then realized that if we could fix a lot of the things that are missing in these nations, then illegal migration or even legal migrations will be stemmed. And I think Rishi Sunak needs to understand this. It's not by taking people and dumping them in Rwanda that you tackle migrant issues. You should go to those countries. And if you also understand, because I did like a diploma at the London School of Economics on economics and Africa lens through the ages, you also need to come and understand that a lot of these migrations, either legal or illegal, are along old colonial lines. So it simply means you went to these countries, you looted them. And mind you, I'm not a victim mentality kind of person, but these are the facts I'm stating here. You looted them until today. You still impoverish and loot some of them with MOUs that are not compatible with life. Memoranda of understanding that all those leaders in those countries sign, more out of corruption than anything else, with all of these big nations. So why would you expect that people from those countries will not come to your country? So you need to go back to Nigeria, go back to the Caribbeans, go back to everywhere that you have been and that you have left your footprints of looting and all the things you've brought there, and fix them genuinely now. Fix them without wanting your own personal gains. And then the people will stay back. The people won't come here. You are treating a symptom. And permit me to educate the British public today. People come and say, oh, Nigerians have now infiltrated the whole of UK. They come with all their dependents. Nobody tells you how much these people pay for visas. Nobody tells you the NHS fees that they pay. You don't know these things. The common man on the street doesn't know. All they know is that there are gazillion Nigerians here. But they didn't just choose the UK. They chose the UK because the UK is their old colonial masters. And we know that people migrate legally or illegally along colonial lines. And when they come here, they are also made to pay all of these monies for visas. Sometimes they are denied twice or thrice before they get the visas. And even the dependents are going, you can find someone is applying for visa sometimes with the family and they're going to pay about £10,000. How many people in the UK actually have that money? And then those of us who come and work and work and work, we are taxed like there is no tomorrow. We oil the economy. So at the end of, I think my journey mirrors that of many other persons who today you see us, oh, okay, she's a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist. But beneath that tip of that iceberg, there is a huge layer. There is the onions that you have to peel and you have to peel. And I tell my daughter most times, I said, look, I have earned my stripes and I have no apologies. Thank you. You are muted.
Oh, I know I'm muted, but I was clapping so loud I thought it was going to burst. Oh, I know I'm muted. You ain't done yet. I ain't finished with you yet. You know, there's so many messages on here. And Janetti's put exactly the pounds that are paid, huge to pay to come. They come to what they are taught is a ruler, the place to succeed. And this is the thing. I know, sort of like, as in like the doctor, and there's all that side, and we'll hear that another time, and some people know that side, but I know there's so much more. And I wanted to have an opportunity, and you to have an opportunity to talk about the things that you're passionate about, where you're using your platform and your voice and all that you've done, rather than there's some of us that we get to a certain level and it's like we're up here and they're looking down on everyone and like, look at me. Not a case of I'm here now, what can I do with the platform that I have to help others? And that's what we should be doing.
Yeah. I mean, Auntie D, you're really right. I mean, look at simply these events that you do. Nobody pays you for this, but you do this because you realize that we can cry that we are being marginalized, that there are racial challenges, financial challenges, all of that about the place. But what are we doing about it in our own corner to make it better for the people in our communities? And I think that's how you and I met, you know. Bless Auntie Veronica Ebanks, Auntie V as I call her, and the Fibroid Hysterectomy Conference. And you are right. I come to those conferences and I come as a professional. I come as the gynecologist. I come to talk about the health issues and, you know, what happens with pregnancy, gynae. I talk as the gynae surgeon. And that is good. That is one aspect of it, isn't it? But the other aspect is that with all of our lived experiences as a people, we will be doing our people a disservice if the few of us who get to these points don't actually put what we've experienced into gear to work and turn around the society, both here in my host country and in Nigeria, in my source country, in such a way that those coming behind me don't suffer the same things. So these are things I'm very passionate about. And I'm very passionate about women, youth, you know, reproductive health, mental health, and human rights issues. I see myself as a social crusader, social entrepreneur. And I think the best is yet to come for someone like me, to the glory of God. because recently I over the years, just like I collaborate with the fibroid, and you and I collaborate with the fibroid hysterectomy UK conference. I also collaborate with CAN, the Caribbean African Health Network, and they are doing amazing, brilliant work, because our people, we find that we have the low uptake for screening. We are 5 times that was the figure likely to die in our maternity and reproductive health journey. And recently we're all celebrating that it's now 4 times more likely than compared to our Caucasian counterparts. But these are the inequalities and intersectionality of our existence in this community that we need to bring to the fore. And we can't do away with certain aspects of intersectionality. What do I mean? I can't change the fact that I'm Black African and that I'm female, and that's already an intersection. And then that I'm in the UK, that's a third intersection. And there's nothing anybody can do about that. You're not going to be able to change my race or my gender. So some aspects of intersectionality is fixed. However, there are certain parts of it that can be fluid. And how do we walk around it? How do we change? How does the home country, the people in the United Kingdom, in institutions here in the UK, because now I'm exposed to both the justice system of the UK and the healthcare system, that is the NHS in the UK. The healthcare inequalities in the United Kingdom is abysmal. And at the first Health Inequalities Conference I held in London in April, you could see anybody who was worth their salt in the NHS there, trying to find a way to move beyond these gaps and improve inclusiveness, respect for one another, cultural sensitivities, and cultural integration. But it cannot be a one-way luminal flow. It cannot just flow from the UK government alone. It has to be a two-way flow, and that's where people like you and me come in. We must go into our communities. We must tell them the importance of having their screening tests, their smears done. We know where to catch our people. I know that Nigerians will be in church or in the mosque. So ever so often in my church, I do health talks. And then I go to Parliament. You know, MP Belle Ribeiro, she's done a lot of work on inequalities in health as well. So we need to be able to be fluid and move through the community in such a way that we feed the institutions back, because we are now gatekeepers from our community and bridge builders to these institutions. So we feed them back and we make them know that this is what we want, because again, Auntie D, if you are not at a table, you cannot shake that table. So the more of us that go onto these tables where policies are being formulated, the more that they are going to hear our voices. We must amplify our voices. It's not, the investment does not always have to be money. You don't have to start there. You need to start with that little thing that you can do. There are 1,001 things I could have done with my time today, you could have done with your time. But we are here propagating information for people, inspiring people on all counts. Don't make my mistakes. I want you to be bigger and better than I am. And I think that's the kind of selflessness that we get all of us together into collaborations. We need to trust each other. And don't get me wrong, you will be beaten, you will be stung, you will be pushed down. But you see, I always say that it is not a crime to fall, but it's a crime to remain fallen. And remember that one tree may not start a forest. Sorry, one tree may not make a forest. Well, actually, one tree cannot make a forest, but one tree can start a forest. So we need to know where we are in this forest. Are we starters? And we are all starters. There's something in us. There's leadership in all of us. You know, I sometimes, kudos to the Asian people. Honestly, I love them. I have understudied them. I've looked at how the Indian diaspora has awoken India again. And we can do this for all our Afro-Caribbean, Black African countries. We just need to come together and understand the power that we wield. And that's why I have decided that in this wilderness of migration, in this thing they call the diaspora, I think we also need to think about our roots. You don't really need to go back. There are choices you can make, but you can facilitate certain things over there, just like we do over here. Because there's no use being the only light in your family. There's no use if you are the only rich person with light on your street. There's a problem. Everybody should have light on their street, in their houses, and that way the whole street will be lit. You know, so
analogy.
you know, we just need to encourage each other. That song, sometimes in our lives we all have pains, we all have sorrows. You know, you need somebody to lean on when you are down. You need that person that can understand, and you don't need to deceive people and say, I suddenly found myself here. I am the Alpha and I am the Omega. No, because I know you didn't. Tell people your true stories. Make it, you know, make it.
Definitely.
It may not be attractive.
We need to hear that. That's why I sort of said to you, I mean, I know where you're at, and some people do also as well. Some people don't know who you are. And that's great where you are. But you've had all of these things that people don't know, don't realise. And actually, depending on where I'm at in my life, actually listening and hearing you give the real raw everything, it's like, well, actually, do you know what? Where I'm at now, that's where Loretta's been there. She's been there. She's been there. She's overcome. It wasn't easy, but she's done it. And so you're just so, honestly, so inspirational. There's just so, yeah. I love you.
I love you too, Auntie D. And
I love you. Oh my gosh, you know you're coming back though, don't you? You know
I have to come back. You can have me as many times as you want. And
Shelley put on the screen there. She said the last time she met you, you were throwing condoms.
I'm allowed to. I'm a gynecologist, and we were talking about all things gynecology. And sometimes we have to talk about sex in that business as well of gynecology. So yes, Shelley, go Shelley. Yeah, that was me. That's the other side of me, you know. That's like the work mode activated. And I mean, like you said, people don't quite know, you know, in the whole of 2017, I didn't go to work. I had major surgeries, you know, following having fibroids. And like I tell people, you can have fibroids and they are quiet, they do nothing to you. Or you can have fibroids and they can just mar your quality of life, you know. So I had these quiet fibroids. I was going my way, doing my thing until bang on. Because of them, I had blood clots in my leg that traveled to my lungs. And then before you knew it, I was coughing, and I ruptured what they call it, the dura, and the CSF, the fluid that bathes our brain and spinal cord, was leaking out of my nose. So I had to have titanium craniotomy with facial lata. That's tissue from my thigh used to patch the dura at the base of my nose, or what you call the cribriform plate of earth, my roundabout there. And I had to have urgent hysterectomies. And, you know, all these scars are the battle marks of the wars of life, you know. And you come out, you're either saying, I'm moving on despite all odds, or I'm tired, I can't move anymore. Now, what people need to realize that it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to be tired. I said it. It's not a crime to fall, but what's not okay is to stay falling. That's what the crime is. You must find that little ray of hope that you hang on to. And to be honest, leaders are dealers in hope. That's what leaders are. And my daughter says, Mommy,
Stop.
I really don't.
Stop. You keep throwing out nuggets, and I need you to slow it down and say it slowly so that people can feel it. Because I was like, that's a nugget. And you were like, no. Leaders are. Run with that one again, please.
I have this feeling that the program's going to end and I want to push everything into it. So that's why my pace is a bit
No, the
fast.
program don't finish till 10 o'clock.
I speak really slowly, you know. But yeah, if you reassure me that I'll be here all night, then I can pace out. So what I was saying is that I said leaders are dealers in hope. You know, that's who leaders are. That's what they are. If we are good students of history, you will see that every great leader has been somebody who, when all the odds was against them, everything was down, they still forged on. I mean, I like to read people's biographies a lot and history. You won't believe it. I've read biographies of Sylvester Stallone to Winston Churchill to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sometimes I can just decide, okay, today I'm going to research who is Mary J. Blige. You know, I want to find out what has happened to her in her life, or Whoopi Goldberg. Or tomorrow, I just want to read about Mandela, or I want to go and see Thabo Mbeki, or, you know, who was Stephen Biko. You know, I just want to know. And these are things that they keep me going. You know, like for a whole year, I didn't go to work. I just couldn't go to work because I've had major operations. And I was even supposed to be home for like 12 months. But by the 11th month, I told them, no, I've had enough. I want to do graded exposure coming back to work. So that was how I gradually got myself back and came back to work. And I still believe that, like the miracle of my school fees, this was another miracle. You know, God kept me alive because people don't have half of this happen to them and they die. So I somehow believe that there is very many unwritten chapters in the book that is my own life story. And I wake up every morning believing and telling myself that nobody can harm me. Nobody can decide my fate because it is all in the hands of God. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. We are each fearfully and wonderfully made. There is no two of our type on the planet because we are each unique. We are each unique in our strengths and we are unique in our weaknesses. But your strength is not mine and my weakness is not yours. So that's the reason why when we come together, we are an unbreakable force, you know. But sometimes you find that in our life journey, to be honest, there are people who have also been stung. By that, I mean people who actually spoke to other people, let other people into their space, and they've had it rough, you know.
Yeah.
I am also one of those people. I've met bad people along the way. I've met people who intentionally just want to pull you down. In fact, there was a day I love my daughter so much, you know. Most people don't see my children on my media space, and that's intentional. You know, I actually found out that sometimes you let people in and they are unkind to you also for a reason. You know, you need to learn a lesson from that and move on and not hang on to that. So it depends on your perception. And my daughter told me once, she said, Mom, if I was not your daughter, I would really dislike you. Wait, what did you say? She said, I'm telling you, if I was not your daughter, I would hate you. But Mommy, I know you don't like hate because there are some vocabularies you don't use in my house.
Yeah.
You don't use hate. You don't use frustrated. You don't use, oh, Mom, I'm famished. No, you're just hungry. I'll get you something. There's no famine in this place. So, and then I asked her, I said, why? She said, because you make everything look effortless. You make everything look so easy. When I came back from Nigeria after this governorship race, elections, she was looking at me. She said, this is not the attitude I expected. I expected you to be down. I expected you to be unhappy, angry. You spend a lot of money, time, energy. But here you are, being so happy, like nothing happened. I said, well, it's their loss, it's not mine. And they're going to realize it, and very soon they're going to come back, and I'm going to go back, and I'm not done yet. So why should I be sad? And then she goes, there you go again. There you go again. You just make it all easy. I think it's your attitude that will determine your altitude in life. You know, see something good in everything and in everybody, no matter how bad they may be. That does not mean you don't give them their space if they are really toxic. You know, I don't like toxic or negative people in my space. But even at that, there's still something to learn from them. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, it may be learning how not to be so toxic. You may actually learn that from someone as well. So,
Dr. Loretta, I
yes.
want to have you on longer. But I have got somebody waiting in the wings.
Oh.
So don't you? I told you you're coming back.
I am coming back.
Part 1 with Dr. Loretta. There is so much more. This is what we do. We reel them in. We don't give them everything one time.
Yes.
You have to give them peace. Give them little piece.
Many pieces, because this woman here is multi-dimensional. So it depends on the dimension.
She's got a little, exactly that. Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I'm going to watch this back tomorrow, because when you're in it, you there's so many things that you missed, and I'm going to watch this back tomorrow.
No problem. I want to.
I'm going to be in touch.
Thank you to you, and thank you to those people behind the scene. That's what people forget all the time.
You can't forget producer Shelley.
Shelley, and all those people supporting both of you from your families, you know, giving you time to do this, not watching their TV now because you are on live, you know. I just want to say thank you. And to our people who are listening in, a big thank you. Big up. I appreciate all of you.
Wonderful. Yvonne Wright, I don't know who you are. Is that somebody you know, Dr. Loretta?
Possibly.
Oh, because I don't. But
thank you very much, Yvonne.
Please stay tuned. So much more going on.
Janet. Yeah, Janet, you're my inspiration today. Thank you.
Oh, shoot, that. Bye. We'll catch up soon, darling. Take care. Bye bye. Producer Shelley, where are you? Guys, I'm kind of like, I need a breather. Yvonne is Janetti's friend. People, and I'm going, don't get me wrong, it's great. You know, we've been to Barbados and we're just traveling. We're global today. If I can ask you, because I'm just going to, I'm here, but I'm going to refill. Can I ask you, because I think, you've got...
You can refill your wine, love?
No. One needs to save that for tomorrow. But otherwise, I'll drink it all and I'll be like, I didn't get that. I'm saving that for tomorrow. But Tishi, my niece, Shell's going to take over the reins and do a little bit of Tishi's update. I think you've got that.
I've got Tishi's update. It's a bit of a long one because we didn't have a show last month. So.
We didn't. And then after that, we haven't finished. I know it's hard to believe, guys. The show don't done till 10 or whenever it's done. We've got 2 more people waiting in the wings. 2 more amazing guests. So over to you, Shell.
So the update from Tishi. Hello, everyone. Since the last show, life has been good and busy. And I've come back from Jubilee Lodge on the 8th of April. And I came back to my bungalow being decorated by my mum and her friend. And I absolutely love what they have done. So Jubilee Lodge is a place that she goes to every year, isn't it? So It's especially all set up for people that are with disabilities and things. So yeah, it's a fantastic time that she has away there every time. We have made some changes to my care. I decided to have braids again, and I love having long hair again. I might do it more often now. I have freedom to do whatever I want. Oh, I turned 38 on the 10th of May, and my carers made it really special by surprising me with balloons and a birthday cake. Totally shocked when I came into my living room and saw everything. Went to Leicester Arms for lunch, so that's too close. That's too close to our home. With one of my carers, and my mum popped in to say happy birthday, and then we came home so I could see Dad and JD. Went to the Fox to celebrate my dad's mum's birthday the day after my birthday, and I really enjoyed the food and the drink there. Add that in, saying the drink. Went to the Luton Carnival on the 27th and had a great day, but I'm going to keep it real.
It's time for bed.
I've got to wait for my Google thing. I don't know whether you can hear that stupid thing's playing in the background. Right, so she's going to keep it real. I honestly think that it should be back to Wardown Park, and the parade needs to be longer to show off costumes, bring back the food stalls and the fairs, etc. We did have a bit of a discussion with that. It is very... bringing it into town is good, but they have not got that same atmosphere in the town centre. There was more food this year, but they were kind of hidden around in different places because someone came back with something and said, oh no, it's over there. And I was like, really? I didn't even see it. Yeah, so it's a bit better. It was a bit better this year, but yeah, it really is a bit disjointed. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing Nana on Thursday and spending time with her. Till the next time, people, stay blessed and keep following your dreams no matter what. So she's had a good drink. She's had a good feed. She's keeping it 100% real.
We need to, I think when we do our community Zoom next week, I think if we can get Shell, if we can, because we actually do a show and then the following week we do our community Zoom. I think following on from our show and what have you, we need to think about who we're going to bring or get to our community Zoom and be kind of like how we were before. So I think because of what Tisha's saying, the carnival, whatever, maybe we can get somebody that we can feed some stuff back in. Because I think actually we're supposed to be catching up with Tamar.
Yes, we were at some point. Yes.
That would be good.
Yeah, did go down to Carnival on my own, and yeah, it felt better this year than it did last year, but yeah, it's still not quite the same as you had before. But yeah. Okay. I did put a segue in. Someone I did see down the carnival. I did bump into. You'd always bump into someone when you're down there, but I did bump into JP.
Oh, the next guest.
The next guest.
Oh, Lord of mercy!
Segue straight in there. How did that work?
Seamless. What a segue. Isn't that what they call them? A segue.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how I've known you and never had you on the show.
It's mad, isn't it? That is bit, yeah.
What story? We ain't going to go.
Share it on Facebook and stuff like that and retweet it. Never joined the dots, have we?
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for coming on the show, JP. No, I'm serious. This is 6 years, celebrating 6 years of this show. Yeah. It's birthday blessings for me tomorrow.
Wow, fantastic. I won't.
So when you said you could, and then it was like kind of packaged, and I'm going like, let's go there. And you said you could. So I'm so pleased that you could come on. So a lot of people going like, that's that geezer I've seen. Boxing wives. I've seen him everywhere. But I don't know if you were listening when I was speaking to the lady prior. Some people have seen her, some people haven't. And very much, I know you've seen some of the shows, JP. And it's important for me, people see where you're at now and what you're doing now, thinking, oh my gosh, he made it. Great. You didn't just land where you are now.
Oh no.
It didn't just
Moving
happen.
target. Yeah.
So I need to, don't take this wrong, you're an onion, and I need to peel things back, if I may.
Yeah.
We need to peel things back. So just to give people, obviously share what you want to share, but just a bit of that foundation. So that way then, those that are listening, young or old, will be, actually, do you know what? It's not easy.
Yeah.
Where we all are, it's not been an easy road for anybody. And when people sort of like start sharing just a little bit of their journey, people are like going, do you know what? Maybe I can take another step. Maybe I can maybe restart. Maybe I can do something a little bit different. So if you don't mind, just take us back to, where were you born?
Okay. So, I was born in, I come from Donegal originally. So I was born in a town called Ballyshannon in County Donegal. I was born in Sligo next to. So I, on Saturday, actually gone past the 1st of June. I've been in Luton, and Luton is the only place in England I've ever lived for 24 years. So I've lived in England longer than I've actually lived in Ireland. So it's really strange. Like most Irish people, what happened, Dee, is I came over to have a look around, and then it's 20 years later, and like, wow, I've got a car, I've got a family, I've got a job. I told somebody that in the pub one night about a year ago, and I said, yeah, I came over, man, and I'm still here. And the guy was like, mate, he said, I'm here 37 years. I came over to buy a car. So, I grew up in Donegal. And, I tell young people in school when I'm talking to them about, I talk about when my dad came into the bedroom, me and my brothers shared a room, a little council house in Donegal in Ballyshannon. And my dad came into the room and he said, I'm leaving and going to England. And mate came in and said the same thing to my sister. So it was us 3 boys and my sister and my mum, and he was just gone. And I remember a few years ago saying to my mum, I said to her, Mummy, I said, yeah, God, I remember when Dad came in and said goodbye, when I was 6. And she said to me, John Paul, she doesn't call me JP. He said, John Paul, she said, your dad was 3 when you left. And I was like, that's actually my first ever memory. It was so weird when she told me that. So growing up, I really struggled when I was going, a lot of issues around attachment. I had a stepdad who came along a few years later, and he was the worst person in the world. He wasn't, but I had him down here, and I had my dad who'd left and gone to England up here. Do you know what I mean? It was a really weird dynamic. Like, my stepdad, Jared, is an amazing man. He looked after us 2 boys and my sister, me. Us 3 boys and my sister. And then I have other brother and sister as well through that. And him and my mum got married. They were together about 25 years, and they got married about 6 years ago. And they're very happy together. And he's a great man. But I was always struggling in school. I was getting truant. And even some of the young people I work with now, it took me ages to realize that I was actually like this when I was in school. And the only thing that stopped me getting excluded from school was the fact that my mum worked in the school. She did a cleaning job and a bit of a caretaking job. And there was a few times when she said to the head teacher, Mr. McLoone, do you mind not, So I finished school, and one of the happiest days ever is when I passed my exams, what you call the leaving cert, same as A-levels here. I mean, I totally scraped through. Really scraped through. And then I went to college in a place called Letterkenny the following year, and I got stuck into that for a year.
So what did you do? What did you do at college?
I did electrical engineering because at the time I was working in jobs when I was a kid. When I was about 12, I was working in restaurants. I worked on a petrol station. When I was going to college, I was working in a big bakery. I was coming home making money. But then I was doing a bit of mobile DJing as well because of the old decks out and all that crack. Because I was saving all my money for that. So I was doing electrical engineering. I did that for about a year. Really good. Then the next year, I could see myself dropping off. And I think at the end of the second year in 2000, I kind of knew I was going to fail. So that's kind of where I thought, I'll up sticks and I'll take off to England. And that's when I said, my brother was already in Luton. I'll pop over and see him for a little while. And then he worked at Halfords. He got me a wee part-time job in Halfords, and then it just rolled and rolled from there. Like, and here we are, 20 years later. But I've done loads of jobs since. Worked at Luton Airport, cleaning the airplanes at night time. You know, done security jobs. I worked in the call centre for a bank. Then I worked in the bank itself. Then I worked for a charity called Luton Rights, where we used to give people debt advice. And then the job that kind of ties in with Box and Save Lives was that I used to work for Luton Borough Council. So I used to be like a housing officer. So I used to go out and visit the tenants and stop them getting evicted. So the weird thing about my job is I'd be the person who'd be sitting in court with the tenant trying to stop them get evicted by the council who I was actually working for. So it was kind of a strange job. So through those jobs, and then I left that and went to another one called Hightown and Housing Association in Hemel. And one day I went on a training course with them, and it was about safeguarding. And actually, there was a whole segment of it about county lines. And that's when I realized what county lines was. And I was like, right, so all of these young people are at risk, hugely at risk. I'd already been doing some writing about boxing in the local newspaper and stuff, because my first time in the boxing gym, I was about 35. I was 18 stone, functioning alcoholic. And I was doing it for my mental health when I came in. And I could see from then the work that coaches do with boxing coaches do with young people. And that stuck with me and stuck with me. I started writing about boxing local newspaper. That's why I know Lena Shidofia. That's how I know Taxi, because I started writing when she would go to fights. I'd write about her. And this continued. And when in 2019, when I found out about this, I thought, why can't you just try and make something to put all of this together, to get all of these things together and get something proper. The thing is, Dee, what people don't understand with boxing gyms, and like Liam Connery for Dunstable said, like sometimes the coach will ring the parent and go, Daniel's not here, what's going on? Oh, we couldn't afford to send him, so we didn't send him. And they'd be like, no, I want him here in the gym. And a lot of boxing gyms will actually, a lot of work they do behind the scenes is for young people supporting them, and it doesn't get paid. They have lots of volunteers. And I thought to myself, why don't we create a system where we can work with local boxing gym, we can put some money behind the door for any young person who can't afford it, and then go to group classes, and then get them that little bit of one-to-one support. And this is what I was thinking about it. And in July 2019, we went away to the Isle of Wight on holiday, and I was getting really ill. I had pains in my side, both sides. I was really ill for a whole week. I mean, couldn't sleep at night. It wasn't right at all. And I dragged it out, being a big, strong, masculine man. Didn't want to ruin my holiday for family, because I'd only been sober about a year or something at this stage. We'll probably get to that in a minute. And so I kind of pushed on. And then on the last day of holiday, I came back to Luton. I said, you need to go, JP. You need to go to the doctor. I went to the doctors. And the guy said to me, you need to go up to the hospital. I thought, oh, okay. And my next memory was just waking up with a consultant at the bottom of the bed, looking at me, shaking her head, going, oh, no. Oh, no. So what had happened, was that my appendix had burst.
Oh, my God.
I was walking around with a burst appendix for a few days, basically. So it was just a really weird experience. So they said, I had perforated bowel, I had all these things wrong with me. And I think it was that moment when I realized that I'd survived, and they were like, well, you could have we're not sure if you got sepsis. So I was in hospital for over a week. I almost died. And it was that moment when I came out, and I'd been thinking about all these things, and I need to do something, change something. Because I've just had a second chance here.
Yeah. So
over the coming months, then I was thinking about it. And then I actually met with Kimberly Lamb. I've been talking to Liam Connery about these things, because he was doing stuff in Dunstable. And I spoke to Kimberly Lamb about it. I met her in the February at the boxing gym in Dunstable. And when she told me about what the Vera did, that's when I thought, well, that's the kind of thing that people who are working at the beginning of young people's problems rather than trying to fix them at the end, that's the kind of thing I want to do. And within a couple of weeks, I'd set up. And it was literally the week before lockdown as well, because I thought, if this happens, lots of the kind of young people I'm used to dealing with through my old job are going to be really, really vulnerable and unsafe at home. So that's where it all came from. So it all kind of came from lots of different things be going on. And I think I thought about my life growing up, bullied at school and stuff, and thought, let me do something where I can try and change the lives for younger people. And I didn't know. I mean, nobody's more surprised than me at how popular Boxing Saves Lives has become. Nobody's more surprised than me, because every day, like today, I was in London, in the school in London. that started just before half term. And at school, it was on a TV show. You know, I'll get to it, but let's just say I just feel blessed all the time that it's working and it's making a difference.
I met you, and I think I physically met you. You it's Kingsway Park. No, it wasn't Kingsway Park. It was Manor Road.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Remember, and you were doing with, I can't remember the lady in Bedford, and her brother had passed away. That's it.
Yeah. Still work with her.
Yeah, that's it. And I think at that time, I don't think you were fully fledged Boxing States Lives. I think you were kind of like, and you sort of said like, do you know what, Dee, I'm going to and go for it. And you did.
That was just and that was just a classic example, because that stuff was going on in Manor Park during the summer, and I was literally just taking a bag of gloves down there and just getting started and getting the kids going. So like most things, even I still do that now. Let's turn up with something, just bring gloves and go, let's go.
Yeah.
So and I'm glad I started like that, because it's kind of stayed with me. Even today, I was chatting to somebody in Hertfordshire, like, we might have an event. I said, just tell me when it is. I'll bring some gloves. We'll rock up in the middle of the community centre, and we're just going to go for it. Anybody, any age, just go. So that's kind of been a little thread of what we do. So yeah, it's great. But Janita's a lovely lady. She'd be great for somebody you speak to. I'm actually going to be working with her on Thursday again, believe it or not now. So she's a real one. You know yourself, real ones. So yeah,
certainly is. So you've mentioned quite a few things there, JP, haven't you?
Yeah.
You mentioned quite a few things. We will be doing. Shelley producer is making notes, I'm sure. So when because I know you have been at our international men's events for the last couple of years, and before I forget, thank you for being you, JP. You supported us at Simply Deez, and from whether it's a film night to international men's to, I don't know, the youth event to shows, just different things. So we do appreciate your support. So thank you very much indeed. You are booked when we get the date for international men's this year. I know you don't know it yet, but we're booking you. You shared some things, as in like in terms of obviously growing up, and your dad not being around. And I'm sure when you're in schools and colleges, unis, and just all the various things that you do, when young people are talking, I know it's a case of like they're speaking with somebody and it's like, you don't understand. You ain't walked my path. Yeah. You don't get it. And there's certain things where you do get it because you walked that path, and maybe you've walked even further due to circumstances. So some of what you've said tonight in terms of, you tell me where to stop and where you don't want to go. Yeah,
no, I'm happy to talk about anything, honestly.
In terms of sort of like drink.
Oh, right. So, you know, I think a lot of people I talk to don't realize that, you know, I had a real issue with alcohol for years. The people closest to me knew, very closest to me, literally.
When you say years, what's years? Because I was speaking to somebody last week, and they said that they started, it was smoking actually we were talking about. And, you know, she's like 55, something like that. And she said, I've been smoking for years. I'm like, well, what's years? Since I was 8. And I'm like, what do you mean? And, you know, you can't fathom and comprehend how somebody can be doing something at such a young age, and whether family know, don't know, or what have you, but circumstances, and that's what she's done and wishes she hadn't. But so I don't know, what age would you say?
So the funny thing with me was that in Ireland you have this thing when you do your confirmation where you take this pledge. I don't know if they do it in England or anywhere else, but basically you take this pledge to say, I won't drink alcohol until I'm 18. So you do this, you stand up in church on your confirmation, you give this pledge. So I stood up and I did this pledge, you know, what other boys got. You choose to if you don't or not. But I swear to God, when I remember my confirmation, my lovely suit, the first thing I did when I went back into our house in Ballyshannon, I opened the little drinks cabinet with a big drawer thing was down like that in the sitting room with all the whiskey bottles. And I reached in, I took a bottle of whiskey and took a big slug out of it. I was about 12 years old. And I thought that's the first time I ever had a drink. And then I didn't touch another drink for about 5 years. And I thought, was that not just a big, massive red flag?
Did you like it?
I don't even think I did. It was just weird. It was like a really impulsive thing. And it was like, maybe it was just me rebelling just by doing it. So, I told him I was going to do this, but actually I'm going to shoot. Yeah. So I think my first proper drink was around about 17, I think, when I was going to, we used to go to nightclubs in Mindore and get the fake IDs and all that, which is quite late because I was going to lots of clubs. You have a club called the Pioneers where people who don't drink come together. It's like a youth club. So I was in that for years. So I think that's probably kept me away from drinking alcohol for a long time. But then, so when I got to 17, I started drinking then, going out with the boys. And I think it started getting a wee bit worse when I got into my second year of college. Like I said, I started failing then I was in my second year. And I reckon a lot of it was down to the fact that I was starting to enjoy the nightlife of college. I keep calling it college. You would probably call it uni over here. But it was like a technical college. So when I got into that, and that's when I came to England. Then when I came to England, we were living in a house up in Stopsley and big crates of beer all the time. There was lots of drinking, and everything we did was around alcohol. Everything we did over the weekend. I was living with my brother. Then my other brother, he came over and started living once we all shared a house together. And it was just caning it for years and years and years. So it was just progressive. So I'd say from the moment I started drinking properly drinking alcohol to the when I stopped was probably 20 years. So I last had my drink the day before St. Patrick's Day in 2018. So it's weird because I always say to people, it's like God's test. It's like St. Patrick's Day is my sober day. And he'd be like, we'll see how sober you really are, buddy. Do you know what I mean? So that's like trying to get through and build on that. But the thing is now is that a lot of people around me, like I used to love going out on the lash and all of that, but a lot of people around me didn't realize how heavy my drinking was. They wouldn't have seen all the stuff that was going on in the background.
You consciously hid it from people? Or did you not?
To be honest, I think I was probably better at going out on social occasions and not getting absolutely. There was a time about 15 years ago when I was really getting absolutely battered all the time. And that should have, and actually, weirdly, I wanted to give up alcohol by the time I was 30. Now, what person who doesn't have a problem with alcohol wants to do that? Do you know what I mean? So I had all these things, all these signals that was coming to me. But by the end, I wasn't very often getting drunk at family occasions. I'd go around my brother's house and we'd have quite a few beers, but there wasn't a lot of it that people would say. But there was all the stuff going on in the background that the people closest to me were seeing, very closest to me. And then it was like having a drink on Friday, then it became Saturday, Sunday, then it became a Monday, then it became a Tuesday. And at the very worst of it, near the end, I would be going to buy a big crate of beer at the shop, buy a crate of beer. And what she didn't realize that I would have been out an hour before and bought another crate of beer, and that would have gone in the garage. So when she thought I was having one drink, I was having two. So when she thought I was 8 or 16, and I was literally nipping out to get more drinks, and I was just getting worse and worse and worse, and until eventually it had to come to a stop. And that's the thing that I say to people that I went to Alcoholics Anonymous years ago. My dad's a recovered alcoholic as well, and it's an inside job though. It's like no matter how many people can tell you to go to detox, no matter how many people can tell you there's a meeting on here tonight, no matter how people could hide your drinks or take your money, unless that switch goes off inside you, it's an inside job. Nobody can change it. No matter how hard you want to try for somebody, whether it's drink or drugs or whatever it is, it just doesn't change it. But the funny thing now, Deez, is I can't. Before I couldn't imagine my life without a drink. Now I can't imagine my life with a drink, and that's weird. And it takes a lot of getting used to, especially like family occasions. So the biggest lie your addiction will tell you is that I can't go to that wedding without having a drink. Oh, I can't go to that christening without having a drink. I can't go to that funeral without having a drink. And you know why that is that because when you're in that zone, when you go to all of these occasions, you surround yourself with people who are getting just as absolutely blathered as you, and you miss the people you who are coming in, having a couple of quick drinks and going home. That's what makes it weird for you. But people can, and I don't drink anything at all now. Honestly, if I can do it, anybody can. But I love my life now, and that's why you see me at a lot of events and stuff. That's my social life. So if you'd see me in an awards thing and that, I go there because that's my place to go now. I don't go to pubs much. That's the kind of thing I like. So when you see me, chances are I'm going there because I love meeting people, but also going there because this is a night out for me.
This is international men's stuff, so I'm going to leave it there. For me. It's important for me. I didn't know we were going to go there, to be honest, JP. I didn't know that. And there's a message from Michelle Wright. You must know Michelle.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Yes, I mean, Michelle, I saw our mutual friend this evening, and he's got his own Boxing Saves Lives T-shirt, by the way. So yeah, I've got a wee picture to WhatsApp you. So I know Michelle from the virtual school. She's amazing, incredible. Thank you.
I need to get you back. This is just a part one. This is just a little scratch. This is just a scratch. We don't want to give people everything in one hit.
No, and you know what? Not that many people know what I've just told you there. So that's like, I've told a few people, but not that many. So.
Oh, really?
That's because you're a real one. That's because you're a real one, isn't it?
What? I don't know what to say.
I love your work. You know what I really enjoyed?
You, as in JP, are saving lives. You are an inspiration, not just to the young people that you come across in the work that you do. I'm inspired.
To be honest, with this work, be nothing without people around you who are working hard. Like I've got amazing coaches workers alongside me, amazing people in the community like yourself. That energy, you live off that energy. I know you all these years later. I know Cheetah all these years later. You know, there's people like Michelle. I've known her a few years now. It's just surround yourself with good people, and again, above all everything, it's the amazing boys and girls and older people we work with. It's just there's people, man. Just it's about creating opportunities for people. That's what I always say. You know, I was at I'd done a work for a homeless charity last week. I popped in half term and did a little session with them, and they were part of a 12-week program thing. And one of the girls was there, when's your box club? And she was like, oh, I used to do a bit of boxing. And then I was like, oh, I thought, let's do it. She popped out, got her trainers on, and she started hitting the pads. And I says, right, Saturday morning, Lucy Farm, free boxing session, Sunday morning, Luton Town. And I thought, that switch, and then I could tell from talking to her, she'd been through it all. I thought, you know what, you could just see the light switching on in her eyes. I thought, she's having this now, she's going for it, like. And I think that's what I love about this, is that you can see yourself getting through to people. And you know, a lot of people say to me, you know, I wish I had somebody at school who was doing this kind of thing when I was your age and when I was younger and stuff. So I think it's just about creating opportunities for people and surrounding yourself with wicked people who are all eternally positive and eternally real about, you know, there's ups and downs, you support each other. But yeah, some of the young people we work with, it's just, and let me tell you a quick story as well. Today is the last thing I say to you. Today, or the week before half term, there was a program on Channel 4 about a month and a half ago with Danny Dyer. It's called How to Be a Man. Now, I talk to a lot of young people around masculinity and all. I don't talk to them about toxic masculinity because there's nothing toxic about boys or men, okay? We'll make mistakes and we'll do terrible things sometimes. So this program was about, you know, how young people are and, you know, talking about all the suicide and, you know, family courts and all the problems that men and boys are encountering in society. And there was a group of boys in a school there that they were interviewed, and I watched it and I listened to these boys speak, and I thought, these boys, I love the way these boys speak. They're so articulate about talking about how the world affects them. And I watched it and I thought, this is so good, so good. And then I thought, I'd love to work at this school. I'd love to work at this school. This school looks like they're teaching the kids the right way. And the next day, I got an email from this woman going, hi, we are the school in London. Wondered if you wanted to come and do some work with us. And I was like, okay. And I looked at them and I Googled and I had to check through the uniforms and the video and the program. And it was that school. And I had a Teams call with the lady and she turns around and I says, how did you do that? Because I was going to email you guys to see if I could come in and just go, you know, I'll turn up in London. And she was like, oh, no. She said, I've seen your work. You used to work at Housestone School in Houghton Regis. And I was teaching there. and I've moved to London. I love your work and I want to come down there. So just before half term, and again today, we've been teaching in this school at St. John's Wood where these young people are. And I just thought, my mates is manifesting. It's just manifesting, JP, man. Just keep this positive energy. And I love it. And this year I really wanted to work in London and Milton Keynes and spend in Hertfordshire. And we've done it all. And it was only 1st of June on Saturday.
Yeah,
so I think it's just going and trying to find something new and working with good people. And, you know, you'll have good times and bad times, but generally it's good. I love it.
I don't know who Shelley thinks she is. I know she's a producer, but she's the one putting, don't start her crying. Yeah, just on so many levels, JP. I can't say any more right now because I will start crying. Thank you, seriously. Yeah, thank you so much. You know we're going to talk and me and all the rest of it. So for the millions of you that are watching, listening out there, all Boxing Safe Live details, it's all on the ticker going across there. We'll share the information on our pages. If you've missed anything, get in touch and we can then pass your details on, or, you know, obviously give you the information to get in contact with JP. There's lots of activities that are continuously going on. Before you go, JP, just tell people that are listening, you've sort of said about the work that you do, but in terms of sort of like outside of schools, because say, for instance, for whatever reason, it might not be a school that somebody's actually at, but how can they kind of like, what activities are there out there? Because there's so many things, and you know, I know that people are not aware of that are out there. It's like, oh, there's not this, there's not that, there's nothing for the kids to do. Don't get me wrong, there's so much more, but there are things that are out there. So that's why we do shows, so that we can get people on and let people know what's going on.
So what we do is like on Saturday mornings at Lucy Boxing Gym, just behind the swimming pool in Lucy Farm, we have a women's only boxing session. That's free. I've created that for free from the beginning because the way I look at it, some of the women who may need that the most may not be able to afford it. And I don't want that to be a barrier to people coming through the door. So on a Saturday morning between 10 and 11 at Lucy Sports Park, they call it, there's a free women's only boxing class in there. Okay. That is led by women. Michelle Nelson runs that. In the same building on a Tuesday and a Thursday, you have an adults boxing session, 7 o'clock and 7:30, Tuesday 7:30, and that costs about £5 each. So if anybody who's say 16 and over, they can come into that one. And that one's charged at £5. But any person who's coming to the message me says, JP, I'm thinking about going, let me know and I'll make sure you're covered. In fact, if they want me to cover for a few weeks or a couple of months, I'll do that as well. And then in the same place, Lucy Sports Park on a Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, you've got the kids session for those aged 11 to 16. That's about £3 a kid. Same issue, £3 too much. Let me know and I'll make sure it's covered for you. So on a Sunday morning, this isn't Boxing Save Lives, it's done by Luton Town Boxing Club. They have a free women's only boxing class as well. And so they have that one going on, and that's 10 to 11. Ticey Gallagher runs that. And it's amazing. It's really starting to pick up now, and it's in Luton Town Boxing Club on Latterwood. And again, that boxing club on a Tuesday and a Thursday with kids boxing classes you can come to as well. Again, if you think about it, if you're living somewhere near there, someone give me a message through anything on social media and say, JP, I want to bring B-Boy down there. I'll sort of make sure you're covered in the door. Go from there. So again, no child in Luton, and we've been doing this for 3 years in school and 4 years overall. No child in Luton has ever paid for a session with Boxing Save Lives, whether being at school or not. Nobody has ever paid for it. No, people don't understand that. They don't realise that. Either the school pays or I use funded to make it happen. That is now no one ever paid for it. So that's how it works. And people, I actually didn't discover that. I didn't think in my brain until I was writing a funding application recently. I said, I forgot. Yeah, no child has ever. Because again, when you work with the young people we work with, and you know the environment we work in, that kid who needs that the most doesn't have it. Kid, and even if that's the tiniest thing, it's going to stop that kid coming through the door, Jim. I'm not having it.
You're right, Janetti. It is a blessing. This young man is a blessing. And That's why, you know, we do shows and different people don't know what's going on. And when we say share, because you always hear us and you always do this anyway, JP, so thank you for that as well. It's like share. People are going like, oh, why we got to share? It's because I'm telling you now, it doesn't matter who you are, where you are. You watch the show and tell me there isn't something in it for you that you will, or somebody that you know will benefit from. It'd be like, why didn't you tell me my son, my grandson, my nephew, my niece, my whatever it might be. There's something in it for everybody. And can you imagine if we all kind of just did a little thing to help others in turn?
Do you imagine? Yeah.
As well, isn't it?
Can you imagine me going, I'm going to come out into Luton to support the Irish community? I'd be just in a little tiny corner of Farley Hill, wouldn't be hiding up there, as opposed to getting all across the town. Do you know what I mean? Working with everybody from no matter what background they are. Like, imagine how boring that would be. Anyway, never mind that.
Oh, JP, I'm going to have to let you go now. Thank you, honestly, so much for taking time out and talking. You know we're going to catch up, and obviously coming back.
No problem.
Remember dates that are going to be coming at you to get confirmed in your diary.
Right. Problem.
For international.
Feel free to bug me. Yeah, no sweat. Thanks, Dee. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, my goodness me. Yeah, okay. So you watching out there thinking like, oh, my giddy aunt. I don't know how many people she's had on the show. Yeah. And there's still another guest. Am I right, Shell? We got one more. We got one more guest in the house. Let's reel him in. Well, I've never met this guy before, by the way, Shell.
Oh, you know.
And he's probably going to say, like, now he wishes he hadn't agreed to come on.
What have I done? He comes.
Mr. Fairweather.
Well, hello.
Greetings. How are you?
Hello, sisters. You are very jolly.
Very jolly. I told you. I did warn you. So for those people that are watching, we've got masses watching. By the way, Tony, I don't know if the producer told you, we currently have 999,999 people watching. So we just need one more to push us over to the million marker.
That's impressive.
I know. Now, there's no pressure on you, Tone. No pressure. But you're the person. I'm relying on you to take us over to the million marker. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at me. We'll get there.
I know we
With
will.
love and faith, we'll get there.
Exactly. So there's people out there going like, why do I recognise that name, Tony Fairweather? Oh, Jeanette's put Ivy's book, £28 and 10 shillings. Yeah. People out there going like, I know this guy. Going like, I don't know who he is. So it's really important for me, Tony. Got you on the show at last. To just lay a little foundation. Just lay a little foundation for the people, because I want to peel back some layers about your good self, not just for them, for me also as well. And then we're going to sort of bring it up to 2024. So,
okay.
We were live in Barbados earlier on today. You would have missed that, unless you were watching. But we were live in Barbados. You can watch this on replay. Live in Barbados, and now we are talking Windrush. We've been talking Nigeria. We've been all over the world today. So we're now back in sunny London. What's happening? Where were you born? Can I start there? Where were you born?
I'm of Jamaican descent. I was born in Clapham South. My father came over in the Second World War, fought in the Second World War and stayed.
Oh, wow.
And my mother. My father was very active in the community. Him and his brother Jimmy, who recently passed. They were the founders of the Ballymontootin Sports and Social Club, which is the oldest Caribbean club in the United Kingdom now.
Oh, wow.
And yes, it is. And they're the only members to own their own building for over 56 years. So it's quite an achievement. So they taught me everything I'm going to tell you now came from them.
Oh, man.
I started at The Voice newspaper, working in the. I'd love a book, so they asked me to run their book club, which became the biggest black book club in the UK in its time. Through that, I set up a company called The Right Thing because I saw that black authors were not being promoted properly, and they weren't appealing to our people. White people organizing the book readings, and they were dry. They were boring. You know, you read a book, it was alive in your mind. You go to a reading, and the author can't even read his own words. It's boring. So a book came past my desk by a lady called Terry McMillan, and the book was called Disappearing Acts, which is still one of the top 5 books I've ever read. And I fell in love with that book. I put it as book of the month. We sold over 500 copies. The publishers got hold of us and said, she's coming over. And I said, I'd like her to come to Brixton. The phone went very quiet. Brixton wasn't a trendy place it is now. It was a place where white people wind up their windows and drove past very quickly. I said, no, she's coming to Brixton. And they were, I said, well, we'll be front page news on The Voice, so you better make sure she comes. So they conceded and she came. And I made the show what I would like to see at a book reading, a bit of music, a bit of comedy, a bit of everything else in there, and an Oprah Winfrey style interview. And I sold tickets, which was unheard of. Tickets were £3.50, but they were outraged that I was charging people to go to a book reading, which is normally free. I said, if there's no value on something, what's the point of doing it? So I knew my people. I knew they would come. We sold out. She turns up in this big car. The white press officer came out panicking because all these black people were outside. What's going on? What's going on? Remember, we're in Brixton now. Brixton, not the Brixton you know now. Brixton, rundown Brixton. She decided, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Like, there's a riot going on. I said, be calm. There's nothing wrong. I said, these people are trying to get in. We're sold out. And as I said that, the door opened and out stood the big Terry McMillan in a 40 acres and a mule jacket. I'll never forget that sight. A Spike Lee jacket, which everybody wanted in those days. And she came up to me and said, are you Brother Tony? I said, yeah. I said, I've heard about you. Let's talk. And I said, what's going on? I told her. And she said, let's do this. And we went in there, and the evening was a great success after that. And I in the audience were other publishers, and I got offered Dr. Maya Angelou, Toni Morrison, many other people to do shows with them because they liked my style. And I did that for a number of years until the crash came in the publishing world and budgets weren't there. And I moved over to doing shows. During that part, I started In Celebration of My Sisters, which is the longest running Black Women's Mother's Day event in UK history now, over 30 years. And we've broken a lot of people through that. Everyone from Desiree, the Janet Kays, the Carol Thompsons, you name them, they've come through there. The Felicity Esniks, Gina Yashier, they were all young, upcoming artists when we started this. And I'm very proud to say we gave them a platform for their talents, and they've gone on to great things. And they've never forgotten. They've always come back to me. If I call them, they come, which is lovely. And from there, I got into the Windrush era, which I was at a friend, my dad's best friend's, my dad passed, but his best friend passed. And after the funeral, I was sitting in the front room and I saw this black and white picture of young black people in the 40s. And I said, that's on a boat. They said, yeah. What boat was that? They said, it was a boat after the Windrush. I said, I said, what happened to those people? They said, they don't know. I said, who took the picture? They said, their dad did, but they don't know what happened. And it just got me thinking, what happened on the boat on the way over? So I went to speak to my mother, and she gave me so much information. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, even though I'm a big-ass man, she said, go ask your auntie. Don't ask me my business. So I had to go and ask my aunt and relatives, and they told me the stories of what happened on the boat. The drinking, the gambling, the smoking, meeting husbands, meeting wives. Some women had to get married very quickly after they got off that boat. A lot of things happened on that boat. And I put that into a story called £28, 10 shillings, which became a bestseller, sold over 12,000 copies now, and it's still selling. And we're working on the stage play of that. And from that, I had the Windrush collection, which I'm saving artifacts from the front room, the bedroom, and the kitchen from the 50s and 60s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. So that's a summary of me and what I'm about. I'm a cultural ambassador, as I call it. I'm trying to keep our heritage alive. I'm trying to pass it down to my children, their children, their children.
You are.
and I just do my little bit. Just did my bit. That's it. That's me. That's me. Excuse me.
Everybody who's watching and listening knows that is a super, super, super condensed version. It's only the only reason I'm letting Tony get away with that is because if I play me cards right, Janetti, Miss Lyricist B. Do you remember when I spoke to you yesterday and I was saying about her? Do you remember?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, she was on the show earlier on today.
Mm-hmm.
Promoting the event that I shared with you, and she's watching now.
Hi. I hope you're well.
She's sending messages. In the chat, she's sending messages. So I need to know. So I need to go live on air. What are you saying? 28th of June. Are we going to see you?
28th of June. Are you going to see me?
Yeah, in Luton. Yeah. You coming?
In Luton. I shall come to Luton. I've got my visa, my passport. I shall be
Oh, I don't even know why I'm laughing. Because people think we're out of Hebrides. It's like Luton is so far. You know, Luton's only down the road.
I know.
Only down the road. I'll tell you what you didn't mention. That we posted because you gave me
the Windrush Day concerts. Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right. Absolutely right. We produced it for the last 3 years. We've been producing the Windrush Day concert, saluting our elders. My mother, who's 97, and her church friends. They all come along, and we have a band, the Freedom Band UK, and we play all the tunes from their era. Jim Reeves, Echo Bill. All the old Johnny Nash, all the old time tunes that they played as a record, they can hear it live. And we have the band dressed up in 50s outfits, the women in their bell-shaped dresses with the white gloves, and the men in their double-breasted suits with the trilby hats. And I love that show because I look in the audience and I see people rocking in their wheelchair on their sticks. Some people fling down their stick and they're dropping foot in there. And I'm thinking, and their daughters are trying to hold their mama. All right, mum, easy, mum, easy. Lovely to see. And it's nice when they're leaving, they come up to you and say, thank you, mum had a great time. I haven't seen mum like that for a while. You know, good to get her out of the house. And as we all know, it's getting them out of the house. It's getting them out of the house. And for them to come there, and the average age was 80 and over in the audience, over 700 people. It was a great achievement, and I love it. And we're doing it again this year. So it's for everyone. It's not just for the elders, because we are Windrush children. I'm a Windrush child. You are a Windrush child.
That's correct. And we need to. That's going to be on the 22nd of June. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So can you give? I mean, we're going to share it. We're going to share it on our pages, Instagram, Facebook. And sort of like we do a newsletter as well. We'll be sending that out also as well. But can you sort of like just let us know 22nd of June and where actually is it? I know we've got it
Broadway Theatre Catford. If you can get the stuff online, just put in Broadway Theatre Catford in your Google and it comes up. You can book the tickets online, and it's 75% full already. So very quick. It will sell out.
You need to move fast. Stick with us. We're such slow movers at times.
Well, I always say about our people, we're the last one to buy a ticket, but we want front row seats. How does that work? Every time I get this. So what? I can't sit in the front seat? I sit the day before the show. How are you coming to me now the day before the show you want to have front row seats? Please.
I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. But so that's the information is running along the ticker also as well, all the details.
Yeah.
Now, I was speaking to you because I was thinking, like, when did I start speaking to this guy? Well over 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what were you doing then? Because you've not mentioned it. Do you remember the jerk?
Oh, the jerk cookout on the 10th of August. You got a better memory than me. I'm doing these shows, I can't remember half of them. The jerk cookout has been going for 17 years at the Museum.
17 years. And I tried to, I can't think of the word I want to use, this young man over 10 years ago, because in my mind, and you know, there's people out there that will grab it, which is fine. But I'm like, I want that in Luton.
And I still want to bring it to Luton.
And this is the man
before.
that
Let's
I
sit
need
down.
to.
You are
So
a
we
busy
said
woman.
we're
Do
gonna
not
talk.
put this on me. You are a busy woman. I said to you many years ago, let's sit down and talk about this. You were flying off your private jet somewhere to some private island doing your big interviews, Oprah Winfrey. You didn't have time for little old me. So when you know I have time for me, then we can sit down and organize this. I've got witnesses now.
I don't know why Mr. Fairweather bothers with the comedy act when he can do it himself. He doesn't need anybody else to do the comedy. He can do it himself. You know what I mean? He can do it himself. I don't even know what to say. There's just so much. There's just so much. But I thought, because this show is only once a month, Tony, it's the first Tuesday of every month. If I didn't get you on now, it'd be July, and that would be after the event.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to get you on this one. And as I said, Janetti's on, and I'm sure you two, I know, have been on a Zoom or type thing together. I don't know if you physically met, but I'm like, nah, I need you down in Luton, obviously for her show, plus also so that we can catch up and let's see what we can do.
Well, I shall come down earlier so we can have a meeting before the show.
Ouch! 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 Janetti, are you listening? Do you know we are live on air? You know this.
I said it.
You know you can't retract what you're saying.
Let's see if you make it. You're the one who's busy, not me. You make me look like a slouch. You're the busy one.
I'm simply Deez. We're all over this event on the 28th of June. We're supporting, we're sponsoring, we're partnership, all of that. So there's no way I can't be there on the 28th. So
okay.
Yes.
So let's see what we can do.
Oh, ouch!
Door is open. Let's see if you walk through.
Mr. Fairweather, I was going to ask you something that we talked about yesterday, but I'm not going to ask you because I'm sure there's going to be a billion one comments if I ask you. Do you remember what we were talking about yesterday?
We talked about many things. What part are we talking about? I remember we're live. What part are we talking about?
That's why I'm not saying it. So before we get shut down and fully taken off air, my show is no longer.
Before I sprinkle some holy water on you, carry on.
Do you know what? Even that holy water ain't going to help me. That ain't going to help me. Thank you so much. Totally, honestly, seriously appreciate you taking the time out, coming on and sharing with us just a snippet of your journey, a snippet of what you do for the community out there. Because some people will be like, oh yeah, there's that bloke, but don't understand and appreciate what goes into just putting on one event. It doesn't just happen. Even if you've been doing it God knows how many years, there's so much work that goes on into putting on events. And I think sometimes people don't appreciate the work and the efforts that we do. And obviously the people that you have that support you also as well. So, Mr. Fairweather, does that say CEO or does that say...
I just put CEO because there's too many words to fit in a little box. So. Chief bottle washer, sweeper, upper, cooker, money, everything. I do everything. You can't be in the business this long and not be able to do everything. Or else
look at that! I think the same lady that I'm talking about, Miss Lyricist, I think she's coming up to your show on the 22nd.
Okay. And by the way, people can win some free tickets if they tune into Vibes FM between 5 and 6. They can pick up free tickets. There's a competition running there between Monday and Thursday.
5 and 6, what, 5 and 6 every day or?
Every day between Monday to Thursday between 5 and 6, they give away a pair of tickets.
I want to hear that. Vibes FM. If you want to be a cheapskate but your circumstances, you might not be able to afford it. Free tickets can be won. We've got somebody from the Scilly Isles tuning in. Look at that, Tony.
Okay, hi Scilly Isles. I want to go there.
Scilly Isles. We had Barbados earlier on. We've been talking Nigeria. You've got we've been all over.
Yes, you have. And Nigeria's an amazing place. I love it.
You've been?
I've been Nigeria and Barbados. Amazing places.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I've done some shows in South Africa. So it's really an honor to work for Nelson Mandela in South Africa. That was an honor.
Oh my gosh. You'll definitely come back on. There's so much to talk about. We're going to catch up before your event. We're going to catch up this week, actually. And we'll catch up and you'll come back on the show another time. But I will do my utmost to make it there on the 22nd. I'm going to have to try and get out of work. I hope they're not watching.
Well, people are listening. I've got witnesses. So listen.
All right, Tony. Thank you so much. I look forward
thank you to everybody who's tuned in. It's really nice meeting you all. I hope you all have a great life. And tomorrow when you wake up, praise your Lord that you woke up, because some people didn't. So enjoy life.
Blessings. Thank you so much, Tony. Take care.
Good night.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. Oh, my gosh. Where's that producer woman?
Wow.
I can't keep up, but it's like another show that I'm kind of like, and I thought to myself, like, I've got to prove to Shelley Titmus, I can do 10 o'clock. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Look at her. She's choking. So that is Shelley. If you're watching, I've seen something and she is choking on the bubbles, probably gone up her nose. As my t-shirt says, I
forgot to get mine out.
Wow.
A packed show.
I did warn you, kind of, didn't I?
As Janetti said earlier, it was completely varied, but as always, it's got a common thread going through it.
Do you know what? It's so kind of like the way, kind of like, however people, it just happens. It's not a case of like, right, strategically, I'm thinking that. It's just what happens. And then as people are sharing and talk, and then it's like, oh my gosh. If you didn't know, you'd think I'd really put some serious planning into the show.
Can we just turn around and say very, very quietly that there's a couple of people on tonight that weren't actually on not as of a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, right. She's talking about 5-10 minutes before the show. Yeah. That is how we roll. Yeah, I'm going to have to watch this back.
Yes, RealTalk. That's where it comes from.
Yeah. And literally, I'm sure I didn't say it today, probably because I was just so excited. And you normally reinforce it, Shelley, is they need to put on their seatbelts.
Oh yes, yeah, we did.
We didn't
say Price at the beginning of the show.
Literally, 1 minute you're belly laughing, and it's like, and the next minute something sort of gives you a bit of a reality check.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it kind of like just that real talk. I don't know if I can remember off the top of my head, but I will try. Probably not in order. I might have to go back to front. But massive thanks. Please correct me if I forget anybody, Shell, because I tend to. Amazing folks out in Barbados. So we're talking about Errol, we're talking about Rochelle, Shades of Barbados, Sandra Moore in the house from the Scilly Isles. Such an incredible young lady that was doing certain things before we went to Barbados, but has certainly changed and impacted lives by taking us there on that retreat. More information about retreat, class of 2025. Information about that will be coming out at some stage. To Janetti, to JP from Boxing Saves Lives, to Tony Fairweather. Who have I forgotten? Tishi. Producer in the house. Whilst somebody's got kind of ensure that it runs seamlessly, makes me look like I know what I'm doing, have a clue what day it is, what time it is. Yeah. We are just kind of like everybody's on a journey, aren't they, Shell? Everybody's on a journey. And it's so important for us that if we can give people an opportunity to share.
There are so many people out there that are either just hiding it, getting on with life, they're masking it, they're finding other ways, which JP kind of
alluded.
we kind of skirted around it a bit. We're going to find out a little bit more about that.
Yes.
So hiding that, and then that's where some people do turn to drink or drugs or a certain lifestyle that kind of helps them cope or helps them hide it. Yeah, you just never know what's going on with someone's life. There could be and it unfortunately does turn out to be the happiest, bubbly person in the room is the one that's hurting the most, because they're hiding it. They don't want people to feel how they're feeling. They are the person that's helping everyone else because they've been there, and they don't want other people to feel that way. Yeah, you just don't know what's kind of like going on with people, and some people don't even know what's going on with themselves, or have an inkling that it could be and not know how to deal with it. Yes, there is a story there.
This is another. For those of you, because we've got so much to talk about, but we're not going to be talking about it today. Where are we? We are halfway through the year, and you're probably thinking, like, what's happened with Simply Deez events? Can't pour from that empty cup, guys. Can't pour from that empty cup. So we have been refilling. And oh my gosh. Yeah, watch and see what's going to be in store for the rest of 2024. If you've been watching though, whilst you think we may not have been doing events ourselves, if you notice how we operate, we work in collaboration, in partnership, supporting in the various ways that we can. We always, and where we can, give people platforms where they can share what it is that they're doing, get other people involved. Can you imagine if we all, don't know, just gave that a little bit more?
Yeah. It's easy to say, why didn't that person reach out for help, if you're not meeting them halfway with your hand to say that I'm available. Make it easier for someone, and that's all you can do. Whether that's actually being the ear, or whether it's just helping out, giving someone a platform. I mean, we're coming into we're sort of June is Pride Month, and as I said on the Simply Together show today, being an ally with a capital A is actually being there for someone, even if they're not there themselves, standing up for someone, being your actions, whether that be pride or whether that be standing up for anyone that's like disabilities or ethnicities, religions, anything. If you think it's wrong, okay, well, you could then say, well, I'm just going to take myself away from the situation, I'm not going to join in. Or you could actually then try and educate that person, saying, yeah, actually, that's not quite the correct way of saying it, or whatever. Obviously, if it's safe to do so. Sometimes it's not safe to do so. But yeah, if it's safe, so it's stand up for someone, stand up for what should then be right. Yeah, you never know. You never know. But yes, now we've kind of all settled ish. She's got loads of thoughts. I can just see this now. It's all going to go absolutely mayhem. Just when I got my own mental health kind of sorted out, then it's all going to go.
No, it won't be. It won't be. It won't be.
No, it won't. It's good. I've got myself sorted. Kind of know what's going on. Story for another day, but yeah.
So, be approachable, be reachable, be available. If you cannot, then just be kind. Yeah, beautiful words there, Janetti. And words fit enough to end our show for today. I am absolutely amazed. I'm only 4 minutes past 10, which Shelley is.
That was my fault with the 4 minutes over. I was talking.
I know. I'd actually, Janetti, we will catch up soon, darling. For all of those that have been guests on our show today, as I said before, also to Shelley, producer, Tishi, for those in Scilly Isles, Sandra Moore in the house, Dr. Loretta, Janetti, as I said, JP, Tony, our Shades posse, Errol and Michelle. Thank you all so much. We will be back first Tuesday in July. Don't know what that date is, but please tune in. We are going to be going live to Barbados again. We went on a retreat. It was a plant-based retreat. What does that mean? We want to find out more. And has it changed my way of eating, thinking? I don't know. Yes, it has.
Oh.
Yes, it has. And yeah, and you'll meet the amazing chef that we had. Hopefully I can get Sandra Moore on and she can talk more about the retreat and what she's got planned for 2025. And who knows who else we may get on the show. I'm after that Ticey Geller. I've told her. So hopefully we'll get her on and some other amazing guests. So for now, from a Shelley producer and myself, thank you so much and good night. And please watch out because Shelley doesn't know it yet, but she kind of does, but she don't, but she does. Yeah, there will be, if I'm putting it out there, you know I've got to make it happen, right, Shell?
It's going out. It's going out. What's going out?
This show is going to be not just live as in this, it's going to be in a venue. We're going to do a live, in-person, guests, audience, a little intimate evening with. And yeah, let's see how we're going to roll. So don't say I didn't warn you guys. Put it out there. We're going to make it happen. All right, over and out for now. One has to get some beauty sleep. One's birthday is tomorrow. One needs to get some Zeds.
Yes, so anyone that's got Dee's number, can we all message her tomorrow morning?
What time in the morning? What do you mean, a minute past midnight? What do you mean morning? No, she doesn't mean that. So don't be doing that, guys. No. But yeah. So 6 years of Real Talk with Simply Deez, 3 years of the Simply Together show. Simply Deez are rocking it and kicking it out the park. So thank you all, seriously, for all those people supporting, for all those people that aren't supporting. Guess what? You're supporting us because we know we're doing good because you're not supporting us. Does that make sense? They know what I'm talking about. Yeah, we're gone. Over and out for now. And the coffee was absolutely divine. I think I'm going to have some more. Cheers.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
See you later, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye. Good night.